Hey, so look, check it. Mic check, 1 2. Mic check, 1 2, y'all. Y'all thought I was playing. Y'all thought I was playing. Y'all thought I was playing about this. Now we here. We're here to X the debate, you know what I'm saying, whether or not Pickens is better than Jerry Rice. You feel me? And I'm here to go ahead and end that argument right now. I am your host, Cool, Calm, and Collected. Check it out. I am here. I'm right here. So look. A lot of people were, you know what I'm saying, trying to clown whether or not, you know what I'm saying, because I told them, hey, Pickens is a better built receiver than Jerry Rice and would do all of the things Jerry Rice did plus more. Jerry Rice would not be able to come to this era and do the same things he did back then. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just here to dead that argument right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to dead all of that. First of all, thank you everybody for attending. If you are watching now, if you're watching in the afties, if you're watching the replays, first of all, just go ahead and drop a like on the video and comment on the bottom of this the video whether or not you think that Jerry Rice would be able to do the things that he could have did and that he did back then. Whether or not you think Pickens would be able to do the things he could do now back then, or if you think he would get dominated back in the 90s. We don't know. We wouldn't be able to know. You know what I'm saying? But you can't argue their careers because one, Pickens is a 4-year pro. Jerry Rice went in the league for 20 years. What's going on? Terry Ted? What's going on, Toma? I'm finna show you. I'm finna tell you the debate. I'm finna tell you what kind of debate it is. Stop playing. Toma over there. What kind of debate is that? Oh man. It's cool. I'm finna end the debate right now. I'm finna end it. What's going on, Terry Ted, man? Big salute, man. Big salute to Terry Ted making the playoffs. Third seed is a very comfortable seat to make the playoffs, man. Very comfortable seat to make the playoffs. You can see everything from a great angle. Oops, wrong motherfucking thing. I'm finna show you, Toma. I'm finna show you. Okay, as soon as I get this text source up here. All right. Yeah. What'd you say? What'd you say? He said, I hit you on Discord, fam. It won't let me submit my shit. I thought we had until the end of the day. Yeah, you do. You do have until the end of the day. You straight. You say what? I sound crazy. I'm finna show you though. Y'all think I'm bullshitting. Watch. Okay, so check it out. All right. Yeah, we know. Okay, Jerry Rice is the GOAT. We get it. We all get it. What's going down, Shark Crease? Appreciate it for coming through. Y'all hit the like, and then comment on the bottom. What you think on the whole argument? You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm finna show you. Man. Y'all think? It says submissions are closed. No. Yeah, I'm not doing submissions. This is just debate. This is just the debate. All right, so check it out. Pickens has a rare trait that Jerry Rice never had. Okay, all right. Jerry Rice was a technician. We get it. We get it. But Pickens is a physically abnormal human. You know what I'm saying? To be able to catch the ball horizontally from the ground, horizontally. Very few wide receivers could do that. Very few. And I'm not taking anything away from Jerry Rice. I'm not taking nothing away from Jerry Rice. But you also got to understand. Jerry Rice was placed in an era where athletes were not as physically built. You know what I'm saying? Not as physically fit to handle a 6'3" receiver or to handle, you know what I'm saying, a 200 plus pound receiver. Jerry Rice was 6 foot, 185 at most, 195. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, and ran what? A 4.46. Nowadays, you got corners that would push a wide receiver like that out of bounds before they can even finish their play. You going out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? You're going out of bounds. On top of that, okay? On top of that, check it out. On top of that, Pickens is 6'3", 200 plus pounds with elite explosiveness, okay? If we say Jerry Rice, he was able to get off the line, from physical corners and stuff like that, you don't think Pickens could do that? You don't think Pickens can get off of the ball? Especially back then. Because if Jerry Rice was able to get off the blocks or get off the line, you know Pickens could, because Pickens is faster, stronger, more elusive than Jerry Rice was. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you know what I'm saying? His athletic profile is closer to a modern freak athlete like Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson. You know what I'm saying? People like that. They weren't built to handle receivers like that. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? We got gonna comments. We got, hey TCJ in the building. What's up, my beauty? You're a Niner fan. I get it. Nah, I'm not taking, like I said, I'm not taking nothing away. I'm not taking nothing away from Jerry Rice. I'm not taking nothing away from his career. He had an awesome career. He had a wonderful career, and to be able to do the things he do. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the era he did it in. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of things was straight physicality, straight, you know what I'm saying, in your face. You know what I'm saying? Straight dominating the corners, you know what I'm saying, of the receivers. They would try to, you know, grab your face, smash and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot more physical back then. But back then, you had to be physical. You had to do those things because you had receivers burning your ass. You know what I'm saying? So you had to do something to slow them down and wear them out. You had to do something. You know what I'm saying? You had to do something. Hold on. Fucking shit's fucking up. All right, so my next argument, you know what I'm saying, it says Pickens creates separation differently. You know what I'm saying? Rice was famous for route precision, timing, footwork, conditioning. But Pickens wins with explosive releases, size mismatches, vertical speed. You know what I'm saying? He's faster, stronger. His catch radius, his wingspan is a lot wider than Jerry Rice's is, and his strength against pass coverages, you couldn't bump and run him. You couldn't. Defenses had to lay back. They had to, because they couldn't keep up with George Pickens. So I'm finna show you a couple of Jerry Rice films. To show you, and this is for all the Jerry Rice fans out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know I gotta show you all. You know what I'm saying? Your man. Okay, so Jerry Rice, some of the best Jerry Rice played. You know what I'm saying? And this is going back to the early '90s. The early '90s. You know what I'm saying? This is when Jerry Rice really started to pump the gas, you know what I'm saying, and hit the gas on folks, you know what I'm saying, and when the Niners really started getting good after the Pittsburgh and the Raiders era, you know what I'm saying, and the Washington era, stuff like that. But you know, of course, you got the one where he drops back to pass and takes Right here, I think is his best catch. One of his best, one of his best, you know, one of his best, reaching for the ball. Because normally, who's my team? Come on now. I'm jet life to the next life, man. I'm jet life to the next life. And look, I don't care. You can make fun of my team. This is not about my team. It's not about my team. This is about who the better receiver is right now. It's about who the better receiver is. Now, it's one of his best catches. It's one of his best catches right here. And this was a pretty impressive one because you were in the back of the end zone. You probably had a couple of inch radius to make a quick decision to catch it. Why? Because it was against the Cowboys? No. Not because it was against the Cowboys. Because of the way he caught this ball. You know what I'm saying? This was a little tough. This is a little difficult to catch. But at the same time, you got a lot of receivers nowadays able to make this catch. A lot of receivers have been able to do this and elevated the game. But see, now again, this goes to he wasn't able to fully grab the ball. You know what I'm saying? He had the second chance, that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Also, you also got to put it into play. Hey, that's fine. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But I know my sports science. You know what I'm saying? Who I like and who I follow the most is not really a big factor on what I know. You know what I'm saying? But let's go back to this. Now, we also got to put in play that Jerry Rice had Montana. He had T.O. on his team. He had Garrison Hurst on his team. He had Frank Gore on his team. One of the best in the 90s. One of the best offensive lines. Again, he had a really good defense. He had a really good defense on the team. So opportunities like this, he's able to create very, very good opportunities for himself. You know what I'm saying? When Joe Montana gets good looks to Jerry Rice, he's able to get that time in the pocket, so he's able to give the percentage that Jerry Rice needs and the good looks that Jerry Rice needs to be able to give Jerry Rice the yards, the catch per throw to radius ratio that he needs. You know what I'm saying? To get high percentage looks, to get the high percentage stats. You know what I'm saying? Most, if not all, of Jerry Rice's looks are going to be catchable plays. You know what I'm saying? So you have a good quarterback to throw you the ball. You have, matter of fact, a Hall of Fame quarterback to throw you the ball. So your percentages of you getting the ball is going to be high. A good offensive line, so your quarterback dropping back has a lot of time to get you that ball for you to create separation. All right. Not only that, you got another good elite receiver on the other side of you. You know what I'm saying? So that takes double teaming on you away. You know what I'm saying? Because they have another receiver to look at as well. Okay, you got a good running back, you know what I'm saying, behind you. So that gives, you know what I'm saying, that creates more open looks for the pass game because the running back is constantly wearing out that offensive line. I mean, that defensive line. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. But at the same time, you also got to understand, if with the abilities that he has, he is not able. He would not be able to do the same things that he did back then, because corners are more freakishly athletic than they were back then. You know what I'm saying? They are a lot more elusive. They're a lot more stronger. They're a lot more bigger. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to do those things that he did back then. If you are an elite receiver now, you could go back then and do the same thing you did in the 80s with that same ability that you got now, because those corners could not handle freakishly athletic receivers that they do now, that we have now. Calvin Johnson would go back in the 80s and would absolutely get a 4,000, maybe 3 or 4,000 yard season. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying? And you, especially with a quarterback like Montana. Again, how many times did he play Darrell Green in his whole career? How many times did he play Deion Sanders in his whole career? How many times did he play Deion Sanders in his whole career? How many times did he play all of them in his whole career? He played them a total of 3% each. He played Deion Sanders. Matter of fact, Deion Sanders, he played the most out of everybody. All of those names that you're naming, he played Deion Sanders 10 times. Okay? He had 310 games in his career. Where's that other 97%? He didn't play Deion Sanders his whole entire career. No. And on top of that, you take the average 40 time and the average bench press reps that they had back then could not compare to that now. You had average cornerbacks that could run the speed that Darrell Green ran, that could run the speed that Charles Woodson ran. You have average cornerbacks that can do the athleticism things that you had Darrell Green doing. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, receivers were not that good. You didn't have athletic receivers like you do now. So Darrell Green would have a field day against those average receivers, you know what I'm saying, that came out there with no gloves on and stuff like that. That couldn't run no 4.5 and stuff like. Darrell Green could dominate and show his ass to be able to do that. Okay, so let's please not go that route, because Jock, we already built this argument. Now check it out. Jerry Rice went up against a total of 7 cornerbacks. A total of 7 cornerbacks that could run faster, if not in the low 4.4s. A total of 7 corners that could run a low 4.4 or better. The average cornerback that could run, the average cornerback in the 40 time back then was a 4.53 average. All right. The average cornerback now is a 4.44. All right. On top of that, in the 4 years that Pickens has played, all right, he has lined up against eight cornerbacks that ran a low 4.4 or better. All right. 8 in 4 years, compared to 20 years on Jerry Rice. 20 years. Jerry Rice has only played seven cornerbacks that ran low 4.4s or better. Only 7. All right. On top of that, let's go to the next one, because I'm gonna show you here. Check this out. Let me show you something. Now, hold on. Here we go. All right. Now, granted, a lot of people are going to say that, oh, Pickens could, Jerry Rice could do this if he had the opportunity. He had 20 years to do this. 20 years. Now, again, you're going to go with what he did. You're going to go with what he did compared to what Pickens could do. Pickens could do if he was put in the same situation. Okay? You're going to go 200 plus touchdowns and all this Triple Crown. Fine. But he's in the era and he was placed on the team that he could do that. All right? You mean to tell me right now, all right, that Jerry Rice, all right, that Jerry Rice could absolutely go for 200 plus touchdowns, okay, 200 plus touchdowns, more than 1,800 yards a season, and 20,000 yards in his entire career with this guy? You mean to tell me he could do that with this guy? You think he could? You think he could do that with this guy? Hell no. On top of that, people like Richard Sherman with the bump and run guy, Jerry Rice is going out of bounds before he can even end his play. 9 times out of 10, cornerbacks now are pushing receivers like Jerry Rice out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me, you mean to tell me Jerry Rice could do something like this? No. Did he do something like this? Did he do something like this? Did he do something like that? No. He's catching bread baskets. He's doing this. You know what I'm saying? And then the radius.
And Pickens end zone shot.
The radius of Pickens' catching ability is far wider than Jerry Rice's is. Okay? The 40 time, the bench press reps. Okay? Pickens is built as a better receiver, faster receiver, stronger receiver, taller, can catch way better than Jerry Rice can. Now, again, don't go to what they've done so far in the NFL. You can't compare a 20-year career compared to a 4-year career. You can't do that. You can't. Okay? Jerry Rice is placed into a situation where it will be very impossible for anybody outside of his career to be able to beat. Okay? You got Montana on your team. You got Steve Young on the later part of your team. You have Terrell Owens on your team, Garrison Hurst, Frank Gore. You had Toffee on your team. You had people who could set you up to win. You had people who could set you up to win and to set you up for great looks. 90% of your time, you were getting touchdown plays, highlighted plays that could set you up to win. All right? But when you're placed into a situation where it's very, very tough for you to make plays because, one, you're being double teamed every play. 2, you know what I'm saying, cornerbacks are built way more physically fit to handle receivers now than they were back then. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, the ability to be able to get off of cornerbacks like that. You know what I'm saying? It would be a whole lot harder now than it would be back then. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say you can't put their careers in play whenever you're talking about things like that. Yes, Jerry Rice's career placement is better, but his abilities as an athlete, as a receiver, what he can do, what their abilities are. The game is elevated. Needless to say, the game is elevated these days compared to back then. So if you put Pickens in the same career, you put Pickens in that same career as Jerry Rice, you switch them. Okay? Give them their same abilities that they have right now, that they had when they came into the league. As a matter of fact, you put Pickens in the same situation, any same situation as Jerry Rice, 9 times out of 10, he's going to exceed Jerry Rice's any milestone. You put Pickens with Montana and Terrell Owens and Deion Sanders on his team, on his defense, and man, come on now. Ain't no end of argument there. Because Pickens would be able to do the things and more that Jerry Rice did. Do you think Jordan still would be Jordan in this era? Okay, so basketball's a different. Look. Basketball's a different story. That's a totally different story. You know what I'm saying? Because you still got old school moves. Nah, you got some old school moves that can still get some youngsters these days. You know what I'm saying? That basketball's a totally different. That's a totally different. You know what I'm saying? Cherry right there, man. That's a totally different cherry right there. You know what I'm saying? A totally different cherry. Now, Larry Fitzgerald. Yes, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Actually, if you actually put every receiver in the very same situation, the way they are built, what they can do, the 40s that they can run, the bench press reps that they can do, you know what I'm saying, with their same abilities. You know what I'm saying? There are no better receivers. There are 4 receivers that would dominate the game. That would absolutely dominate the game. All right? That's number 1, Larry Fitzgerald. Number 2, Calvin Johnson. Number 3 would be George Pickens. Number 4 would be Julio Jones. There are no better built receivers than those 4 right there. No better built. Their athletic abilities, their ability to catch the ball in very, very tough situations. Very tough situations. No, he wouldn't. He would be pushed out of bounds. He's too small. He's too small. He's too small. On top of that, one hit in that middle on a linebacker these days, he's out of there. He's out of there. He's out of there. You see, he couldn't do this. And you see, he could barely get 1,100 over. You see, he could barely get 1,100 over there with the Raiders. He barely got 1,100, and that made the Pro Bowl. That's early 2000s. That's early 2000s. So, yeah, exactly. You give Jerry Rice the resources he has today? No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, so, but Jerry Rice, you also understand, Jerry Rice ran a 4.46. All right? Jerry Rice ran a 4.46. And not only that, and Charlie Garner, Tim Brown, Charlie Garner. Okay, look. Ran for 1,000. You mean kick return? Not ran. He didn't run for 1,000. Look at the bum corners he's facing. Look. First of all, before you go there, the bum corners are not facing no easy receivers either. Okay? Back then you had one receiver, every other team that could do the things that they can do now. All right? One receiver. Every other team that could do the things that receivers are able to do now. All right? So they weren't playing as good of receivers that they are now. All right? Needless to say, they're bigger, stronger, faster receivers. I'm sorry, cornerbacks and receivers now. All right? You can't compare. Invite you up. I got you. No problemo. I'm in the spot. He would get folded. He would get folded. How? How would he get folded?
Yo, what kind of rinky-dink bullshit is this, man?
How would he get folded?
Yo, Jerry Rice would be killing it right now in this fucking soft-ass league, bro. What are we talking about here, bro?
We're talking about an era that's elevated the game, bro. An era that's elevated, that's stronger, faster, and way more quick pace than what it was back then. It was a lot more fundamental. It was a lot more fundamental, a lot less skilled abilities than it is now.
Yeah, but you see, yo, bro, there ain't no way you could compare Pickens to fucking Jerry Rice.
You can't compare their careers. Listen. You can't compare their careers. No, you can't.
What?
You can't compare their careers, but their abilities, and if you put them in the same exact career, career, Pickens.
Trip, let me walk you off this ledge, man.
Oh my God.
Let me walk you off this ledge.
Go.
Trip, you gotta be a Pickens fan.
I'm not a Pickens fan. I'm a Jets fan. I'm a Jets fan. So if anything, I'm a Garrett Wilson fan.
Look at the film you pulling up. You can't even probably name me 5 elite cornerbacks that he's faced right now.
Yes, I can.
That he always goes against.
Yes, I can.
Pickens.
No, he's not even.
Yes, I can.
But let me explain.
He's not even going against the top guy.
Yes, I can.
Let me explain what I'm saying. Let me explain what I'm saying.
Lamb is the one taking that fucking route, bro.
Go ahead.
Since he's been with the Steelers, and I'm a Ravens fan, so I get to watch him
Okay.
every year.
Okay.
Every year. He's always been a number 2. So majority of the time he's taking on the team's second best corner. If that most of the time
For
he's taking
sure.
on a nickel
Okay.
corner.
So what about the times he was with the Steelers though? What about the times he was with the
That's what he's
Steelers?
talking about. He's
So the
talking
reason-
about
the
that
reason-
time, too.
He's gotten
The
double
reason
teamed.
I'm-
He got double teamed when he was with the
I'm saying
Steelers.
sometimes you're gonna get double. Sometimes he's a
No,
receiver.
no.
Sometimes
Whenever he was with the Steelers, he got double teamed every play.
No, he
every
didn't.
play.
No, he didn't. I
How
know he
Nah,
didn't.
no, he
because
didn't.
it was
Especially
times-
when, especially when,
DK
No,
was
he
getting
especially
all
when-
double teamed.
especially when
Everybody
AB
else
left.
was
Ain't
getting
Especially
double
when
teamed.
AB
nobody
left.
got that much.
Especially
I'm
when
not
AB
gonna lie to
left,
you.
he
I'm
got
not even
double
gonna lie to
teamed
you.
every
It's-
time.
It's such a pass happy league. They not about to double. And I played defense in college. They
It's a
not
pass
about to,
happy
they
league.
not about to double.
Jerry Rice played in the West Coast defense.
Nah.
I mean, West Coast offense. I mean,
exactly.
he got played in the he played in
Hold
the
on.
West Coast
Hold on, that
offense, so he
makes it
got
even
thrown the
harder.
ball
But I
more.
don't want to lose. I don't
He got
want to
thrown
lose
the ball
my point,
more.
though. I don't want to lose my point. Most of the time, he's always going against the nickel or he's going against the second best corner. So he's always going to look like he's cooking when he's playing against the second best cornerback option.
Again.
Most teams don't even come equipped with 2 top tier corners. If you got 2 top tier corners, you're elite. Most teams
Yep.
given has their number 1 best corner. You may have
And
a
a safety.
physical second corner, and you may have a
They're rolling the
shifty
safety.
nickel. You may have a shifty nickel corner,
Bro,
or
there's
you
not
may
even
have
five.
Again.
you may have a safety that rolls down.
Okay. I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. But at
Not
the
even
same
one.
time, at
And
the
the
same
reason-
time,
and the reason-
at the same
and the
time, at the same time, hold on. Wait. I got what you're saying. At the same time, you know what I'm saying? You have secondary corners that could athletically do the things that they could back then as a first tier corner. You know what I'm saying? You have
I don't agree.
The
I
thing
don't agree
you
with
have to
that. It's just
remember
like
too is, the thing we have to remember too is, we're talking about different eras. In the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, science and technology, workouts, these things, they were not allowed to do certain things in the NFL. They were only allowed to work out so much, do so many practices, things of that nature. Now, with supplements, science, medical science, with people doing the LeBron approach to things, how they spend millions of dollars on their bodies every year just to maintain themselves with all this,
Thanks.
all these different tools that they have nowadays. If Jerry Rice were put into this era now, if you think
would
that somebody
dominate.
with his skill set back then, with the ability to do what he did back then, without what everybody has the ability to use
That's
now,
where size difference comes in.
with science,
That's where
he was
size
size
difference. That's where
yes,
size
but
difference comes in. Catch
I don't
radius.
even-
Catch
receivers
radius.
are fucking
That's where catch
5'11", bro.
radius comes.
Can't
Catch
necessarily
radius
say
comes
that.
in.
Marvin
Athletic
Harrison,
abilities comes
period.
in.
But
Hey,
he has
Marvin
all the
Harrison. Marvin
has all of
Harrison
those
He
is
has, but he doesn't have the ability. He
Top
doesn't have
receiver.
those. He doesn't have those
smallest
abilities.
dude.
what
It don't matter
ability he
how
don't
big you
got.
are.
He
You know
has
what I mean?
he has every catch you shown Jerry Rice has done before.
No,
The
he
one
hasn't.
finger
He hasn't
catch.
caught horizontally
The one-
on the ground. Horizontally
What?
from the ground.
You know,
He hasn't.
he
hasn't. No, he hasn't.
He
He
barely
didn't
dropped
have
to.
balls in
True.
his entire career.
I can't let you
He
do that. I
barely
can't let
dropped
you do
any
that.
When you got a
balls,
Joe
my nigga.
Montana and a Steve
He catch
throwing you
he
perfect
caught.
balls, it's not a fucking.
I don't even think
saying?
George Pickens is better than Michael Irvin.
Wow.
To be honest
Hell,
with
not
you.
even
Yeah,
close.
definitely
He
not.
not even-
You
Definitely
see, you're
better.
comparing
He's not better than
careers.
30.
You're pairing them based
You
off of
can
their
name 30 wide
careers.
receivers
You're
throughout
you're
history.
comparing
I'm
them
not
based
even
off of
talking
their
about
careers.
At all.
Listen.
You're comparing them based off of their careers.
I'm talking solely from because I played corner. I played corner in college, so I'm
Mhm.
talking strictly from route running. I'm talking about the angles you take. I'm talking about your agile ability. I'm talking about your catch radius. Do you realize Jerry Rice he never really dropped too many passes that was
He
thrown
was
to him. That
put.
man caught
Listen.
bricks. He
Hold
caught
on.
bricks. He
Let me stop you right there. Let me
practiced
stop you right there. Because I have the stats right there. I have the stats to prove this to you right here. Okay. Jerry Rice had 187 looks every 187 looks. All right, every season, average on his seasons. Okay, with 135 average catches, 135 average catches in an entire season. All right, 135. You take that, and you take Joe Montana away from that. All right. You taking
did
away.
it with Steve Young.
Hold on. You're
I was
taking
about to
away.
say
You're
that.
taking.
You
Hold
got
on.
Steve Young.
You're taking
He
away.
did
You're
it-
taking
and
away.
he did it
Listen.
with Rich
Hold
Gannon,
on.
too, in the
You're gonna
Oakland
take away.
Raiders. So
You're-
that's not even
Hold
a- that's not even a topic,
on. You're taking away the good looks that he's gonna have. All right. the overthrown passes, the underthrown passes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take away good passes that are directly thrown to him right in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? That he's able to catch them in. You're gonna take all of that away. You give him George. You give him Justin Fields. You give him Brissett. Okay, you give him.
Oh, he's making them better.
He's not
gonna make them better.
My
That's
gosh.
what he's gonna do.
Oh my gosh.
Listen,
you can't make a throw better. You can't make an overthrown pass better. You can't make an underthrown pass better. You're gonna take away those looks that he got. You're gonna take away those looks that he got. Okay, away. You're gonna say half of those looks are gone. Okay,
it's the receivers that have done more with less. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's
right. Let me add to that point. Okay, so now with that, okay, you take away his Terrell Owens. Okay, that was on the other side. You're taking away the double teams. You're taking away the double team ratio that Jerry Rice would get. The double team ratio that Jerry Rice would get. People would double team Jerry Rice more. On top of that, he had a dominant. He had a good running back. He had a very good running back.
You can't blame him for his team.
Yo, Ricky,
no. But look, with that team that creates better looks for Jerry Rice every single time. That creates better opportunities that Jerry Rice will get.
But we're not gonna act like this. And I'm a Ravens fan. I've been a Ravens fan all my life. I'm from Baltimore. We're not gonna act like the Steelers didn't have always arguably top 5, top 10 defenses when he was on that team.
On top of that, so listen.
We're not gonna act like he was having just period the worst of the worst quarterbacks in the history of football on his team.
Yeah. Justin Fields. He had a third. I just showed you a third string. I just showed you a third string quarterback that threw to him in the end zone.
Justin Fields just before Justin Fields got to that team, he just had a successful. The reason he got that contract because he just had a successful season prior to. The same with Russell Wilson.
Okay, so
we can't.
When he goes but you also got to understand the team he was placed on then, the team he was placed on with the San Francisco 49ers were set up to win because they had just got done coming from almost an NFC title.
Set up. As long as the Steelers had Mike Tomlin on that team, they've always been successful, set up to win because they never missed the playoffs.
Right. With a good coach and a good scheme, average teams can make it. Average team can make it. But look, also
scheme, and that's the point right there. That's the point right there. Those schemes sometimes makes players look a lot better. Some players are just some wide receivers, some defensive players are sometimes good scheme fits. Fits. I'm not saying Pickens is a scheme fit player because he's not. To me, he's arguably better than his counterpart on the Cowboys. I like him more than CeeDee Lamb. But
Overall ability, yes. Overall athletic ability, yes.
I'm saying that is
straight up the field, maybe not because CeeDee Lamb is another Randy Moss. But
he's more reliable. He's more reliable in clutch situations than CeeDee Lamb, and that's
yes.
But just to add to that stat you were saying about the drop passes, Jerry Rice only had 27 drop passes in his 20 years of playing.
Again. Listen. Hold on. Let me get to that. Let me get to that right there. Okay. When you have a quarterback that can put you in a situation where it can create less error for that. Less error. He had Montana being most, if not more than most of his career. He had Montana 14. No, I'm sorry.
Steve Young, really.
Well, yeah, he had Steve Young a lot too, but he had Montana 9 years of his career. Steve Young 4-5 years of his career. Jeff Garcia 4 years of his career.
Oh yeah,
bro, he made.
He was set up with good quarterbacks to be able to do the things he could do.
Trip, you're not gonna make Jeff Garcia.
Jeff Garcia was good. No, Jeff Garcia coming into the league, he was good. He was good.
Jeff Garcia, I'm not saying he wasn't. Jeff Garcia was definitely good. But you're not gonna say like he was a dimer. He was not.
No, coming in, bro. He was coming into the Raiders when he first came into the Raiders. He was damn good. You know what I'm saying? Now, as he got older, he started to lose that touch. I get that.
Even if you have elite quarterbacks, like you say, it don't matter. Most of them quarterbacks, you can go from Brady You can go. Listen, I'm telling you, you go for Brady. You can go for Mahomes. Who else they like? Josh Allen. You can name all them quarterbacks that they all throw bad balls, and most of the time it's the receivers that's really bailing them
Now,
out.
now, now,
That
now, hold
makes
on,
them
hold on,
look
hold
good.
on, hold on, hold on,
And
hold on.
Brady
The
is a prime
quarterback
example because
the quarterback is majority of the receivers.
No,
Is majority of the receiver's success. Is majority of the receiver's success.
I would say
Nah,
60-40.
man, you gotta
The
have a good
quarterback is majority of the
combination, bro.
receiver's success. Because if
I
that
don't
quarterback
agree,
can't get the
because I
ball,
think
if that quarterback cannot get the ball to the receiver the correct way that the receiver needs, he's either one going to get that receiver hurt, or he's going to overthrow or underthrow that receiver in situations that other quarterbacks can make that pass on.
That's not true.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that 100% because
that's not
I
true.
feel like Calvin Johnson has made Matt Stafford a lot
Definitely.
better. I think
Julio
Calvin
Jones
Johnson. I
made
think
Matt
Chad
Ryan a
Ochocinco.
quarterback.
I think
How about
Chad.
this one?
Hold on, I'm about to name them.
Julio
I
This
think
only
Jones.
proves my point here. This
Julio
only
Jones.
proves my point.
Ochocinco
This
made
only
Carson
proves my
Wentz.
point because you have
Anthony
those
Wilson,
freakishly
Carson Palmer.
athletic receivers that could do the things to make their quarterback better. Now, if you had an average receiver, you have an average receiver on Matt Stafford's team or Sam Bradford's team that Calvin Johnson had. You know what I'm saying? Calvin Johnson could make their careers better too. All they have to do is throw the ball up. He's a 6'5", 240-pound receiver. They can run a 4.4.
Made Matt Stafford look good.
True.
Burleson,
A
yeah.
lot
I
of
really
people don't
think
even remember Nate
Nate
Burleson.
Burleson also had Calvin on his team though.
Hey, look at right now.
Created more open looks for him.
exactly the concept you should
him
think
look like
of,
an
Trip.
MVP right now.
Whenever
It's more about the
Pickens had
receiver than
DK
it is about the
Metcalf.
quarterback.
Whenever you
The
have
reason I'm
the
saying
team
that,
Pickens
around
had
you,
DK Metcalf.
It's more.
Pickens had DK Metcalf. He got doubled every time. Pickens got the free shot against a safety or against a bum ass
Thank
third
you.
And he would
receiver.
drop fucking passes
He
that
used
are
to
wide
drop.
open.
Pickens is
We used to
very
go to the
good.
games and watch Pickens drop balls. That man was a crash.
hard to catch.
Yes.
He dropped hard to catch passes
Yes.
though. Very hard to catch
developed
passes.
now last year with the Cowboys, he developed into a very bad throw catching receiver. He made Dak look good on many bad throws throughout that
Much
season.
so.
Very, very good. So I give him that. He is a bad catch receiver. Now he makes them look better. But in the grand scheme of it, the years when he was supposed to be cooking, DK was on the other side getting all of the attention, and DK was still outshining.
That makes the difference.
Again. Let's not forget who he had at quarterback though. They had Justin Fields at quarterback. Okay, Justin Fields is not
a bad quarterback,
but he's not as good as a pocket passer as Joe Montana was.
Well,
on top of that, his tuck and run ratio is going to be a lot more than Joe Montana's was. That takes away the looks that you're going to give. That takes away the looks. That Pickens and Metcalf would. That would take away the looks that Pickens and Metcalf would have. Okay, so that takes away their attempts. All right. Not only that, the pocket passing ability that Montana had. Okay, compared to Justin Fields is a big margin there. There's a big margin.
But I don't think that's a fair argument.
How?
The reason I'm saying that, again, I'm a Ravens fan. I got Lamar Jackson as my quarterback. Zay Flowers just had 1,500 yards with Lamar scrambling majority of the time.
Which is very rare happen.
It's not even, I don't want to say majority. He splits it between either he's scrambling, he's pocket passing, or we got Derrick Henry back there getting majority of the touches. Our offense is ran off of Derrick Henry.
Right.
So Zay Flowers gets less touches because he has not only is he is really considered the third option because you have Rashad Bateman, you have Mark Andrews, you had Isaiah Likely, and then you had Zay.
Right. And so this is what I'm saying.
Scrambling.
It does matter if you're scrambling. It does matter if you're scrambling because look, Montana had a total in his 20-year career. I'm sorry, not 20 year. He played for 17 years, 16, 17 years, and his total 15, 16, 17-year career. All right, he scrambled a total of 200 times. All right, and got a total of almost 1,300 yards total in his career. All right, you compare that to Dak Prescott right now. Okay, you compare that to Dak Prescott. Okay, Dak Prescott in his 7-year career, ran tucked the ball and ran a total of 700 times and has more than 2,000 yards. More than 2,000 yards. You're taking away the ratio. You're taking away the ratio that the receivers are going to get. You're taking away, not only that, you're taking away the pass opportunities that those receivers are going to get. You know what I'm saying? You're taking away the touches.
That's the NFL now, though.
Right. So if you give them the same quarterback, you give them the same quarterback and the same career, all right? Pickens is going to exceed those numbers.
I mean, if you put
that don't always mean that. That don't always mean that.
So you mean Pickens now?
You got to look at. My bad.
You take Pickens. If you take Pickens with his ability, and you take Jerry Rice with his ability, you put them in the same career, same exact career placement. All right, same quarterback, same running back, same wide receiver too. Okay, if Pickens is going to do those numbers, if not more, because look,
we would have put
the best season back in the best season that Pickens had
in the 80s.
Yes, he's going to do all of those things.
He's going to get folded. Do you
realize
he's not? He's going to get.
He's bigger.
The reason I'm saying,
listen, he's bigger. He's bigger, faster.
He's not really that big.
I understand that, but
not really that big. Speed is cool.
He's bigger than. He's bigger. He's big. He's three.
But the question
he's 4 inches taller.
Bigger and faster and stronger now because of the science and technology in sports now and the medical science and how you can work out.
You know the reason I'm saying is look at that.
Put him back in that era. Don't mean he gonna work.
It was no fluff calls. It was no you getting rid of pass interference.
Now you can't.
And they were just grabbing on Jerry Rice, man. The pass interference of today is softer than what it was back then.
It has to be because you have bigger, stronger receivers than they had back then. You didn't have very many receivers that were 6'3", 200 plus pounds back then. You didn't have very many.
I'm not arguing that. And I'm not even saying that that's wrong because you're right. When you got faster receivers and you got O-linemen running 4-4s and stuff, that is true. But what I'm saying is when you're a receiver, no matter how big, you can be Calvin Johnson. But if you're playing in an era where you catch a quick slant, whether you touch the ball or you don't, you still get smacked by two people.
Again,
that changes the receiver's mentality.
But you also got to understand, Pickens is bigger, faster, and stronger than Jerry Rice was. So he would be able to create that separate. His ability to create separation would be a lot better than Jerry Rice's would, especially in that era because they are smaller, slower, and not even stronger than the cornerbacks there are now.
So the reason I'm saying this
right now, they still do good in the league though. That's not even
We had Tyreek. We just saw Tyreek Hill get injured last year. He's
look how small he is, though. Look how small he is.
I'm saying his speed, he can create separation. He has one of the best route running. He has all of these intangibles that a lot of people don't got. He may be lacking in the height, but I'm saying it don't matter how fast you are. It's only but so much space on that football field before they catch you.
Right. But you also got to understand, defenses are freakishly faster and more stronger today than they were back then. So they're gonna clock the shit out of. They're gonna clock the shit out of a small receiver like him and make him fold.
I wouldn't rule out this strength because you had people like Earl Campbell. You had running backs like Earl Campbell that you never see today. You had receivers like Mike. You had receivers like Mike Irvin that you really don't even see today outside of Calvin Johnson. You don't really see
Julio Jones, AJ Brown.
People sleep on him.
AJ Brown. You got Julio Jones, AJ Brown. You had
AJ Brown is really not that big.
He's 6'4", 220. He's 6'4", 220.
When we talk about, you
got number 8 from the Falcons. Come on now.
Drake London is soft as all cotton.
Who?
He's just tall. Drake London?
No,
is that who we talking about Kyle Pitts. He's soft too. He's just tall. I'm telling you,
he's got no hands.
Oh my
god, he's
tall and fast. He's basically a receiver. He's a receiver that they converted into a tight end, and he looks good because he's playing out of position. That don't mean that he's don't mean that he's better than most.
I got you, Tim.
He's really a receiver that's really.
He's a tight end that can play receiver. Yeah, he's a tight end. He originated a tight end who can play the receiver position because he's on the depth chart. He's scheduled as a tight end. Okay, but
Yeah,
this
and
is
Nowadays,
the reason I'm saying the speed really don't matter in football, like we think it do.
actually it
Look how many
does. It
receivers.
does. Now it does.
Sometimes it do, but I'm saying intangibles sometimes matter more because you had receivers like Larry Fitzgerald. That's not the fastest. That still was one of the best receivers all time. You had Steve Smith.
Now,
That was not the fastest.
to contraire, Larry Fitzgerald did run a low 4.4. So that you can take
Yeah.
speed out of there. So Larry Fitzgerald is absolutely a fast receiver.
He's not running.
He's just
he's
more of
not
a
running
route
the
runner.
speed.
He's more of a
He's
route
not running
runner.
the speed.
He's more of a route runner.
That's what made him
He's not a
great.
scat
He was
receiver,
a
no, but he's
possession receiver.
he
That's
was
what
more
I'm
of a
saying.
possession receiver. Yes.
Facts. Most of the best receivers that we talk about today, that even in our history of football, most of the they weren't the fastest. Most of these receivers weren't the
Yo,
fastest.
you know
Again,
who's not fast like that, and catches the
You're
ball all
talking.
the
You're
time
also
in this
talking
era?
about
It's
Larry
Mike
Fitzgerald coming out of an era where there was.
Mike Evans, facts.
Mike Evans
you also-
had
Mike
more
Evans not the
preparation
fast.
for
Devontae
quarterback.
Adams is not
Everything
the
he
fast.
Mike Evans is
was
also
muscle,
6'4" and
muscle.
has a wingspan of 8'3", bro. So what
But
are
I'm
you
not
saying there?
What I'm saying is I'm saying speed don't always matter when it comes. A lot of the times it's really about route running.
It
Like
matters. It matters about your
Chad
size.
Johnson
If your
wasn't
size,
the fastest technical receiver, but his
Route running and good
technicalities with route
quarterbacking.
it
running.
matters. It
footwork,
matters.
he
It
had-
matters
he-
about your size.
He might
If your
have the best
size
footwork
wasn't,
in the history of football.
if your size wasn't
as far
there
as-
and you
as
weren't
far as
that,
wide receivers
if your
go.
size wasn't there and you weren't that fast, you're not going to get the ball very often. You're going to get hit and injured a lot more. Look at Austin Collie. Look at Austin Collie. He ran a
Look at
sub
Marvin
4.5. He ran a sub 4.5. He was 5'10.
J Money. What's
He
the
ran a
dude
5'10 and got
for the
4
Raiders?
concussions.
What's the receiver for the
Four
Raiders?
concussions.
He's probably one of the best route runners in the league. What's the white boy from the Raiders? I can't even think his name.
From the
Oh,
Raiders.
you talking
The
about the one that kept getting the concussions?
Yeah. What's his name? I can't even think of his
He
name.
gone.
He's probably one of the best
Yeah.
route runners in the NFL.
Who you talking
And
about?
nobody talks
went
about
down.
him.
Who you talking about?
I can't remember his name.
I can't even think of his
One
name.
of the best route
I gotta
runners
look
that I
at-
know. One of the best route runners that I know of would be Austin Collie. Will be one of them, and then what's his name? Eric Decker. Eric Decker was another good one.
Eric Decker wasn't
Wayne
that bad.
Corbett.
Yeah,
Wayne Corbett. It was another one.
If we talking
But he also
route runners,
wasn't-
if we talking about route runners, I'm putting Devontae Adams.
First of
Chad
all,
Johnson.
I'm putting
Adams is
Keyshawn
another
before
one.
anybody. I'm putting Keyshawn before anybody. Route running.
Keyshawn,
Keyshawn was nice.
I would give Keyshawn was nice, but I would give that more outside of his route running ability because I wouldn't say he has the greatest route running. His hands, his hands
had
catch
to,
radius
yeah.
was
Yeah.
the best.
He had to
That's his
because
name,
he ran
Hunter
a
Renfro.
he ran
Hunter
a
Renfro.
he ran a
That's his name.
That's the one.
because
He probably
Keyshawn
one
ran a
of the best route
4.52.
runners in the
Keyshawn ran a 4.52, so he had to have that catchability
That's what I'm saying. He really had ridiculous catch radius when he was on the field. And when it kind of like route running, I'm thinking of like your Chads. Like even Steve Smith had some of the best route.
Yeah, but Steve Smith is
nasty,
freakishly
bro.
fast though. But he's fast as
Devontae
fuck though.
Devontae.
But he's fast as fuck though. You
Devontae's
got
the one.
Devontae Adams. I'm
Devontae
trying to think.
Adams.
Devontae Adams is
Devontae
another
too.
good one. You know what I'm saying? Devontae Adams
No,
also
DeAndre
has a
Harris
wingspan.
too.
Has that
Marvin
wingspan.
Harrison was
Cooper Kupp.
Marvin Harrison was
nasty
crazy.
with the fucking
Cooper
route
Kupp is
running.
a freakishly fast receiver though too. You know what I'm saying? He could be a return
Marvin
man if he wants
Harrison,
to.
Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, like them type of
Oh,
dudes
yeah.
was like crazy.
Yeah,
Dominant.
yeah.
Andre Johnson's
Marshall
another
Falk, too.
serious route runner too.
And
bro.
you're naming
Andre Johnson, and
you're
he's
naming more.
forgotten about.
You're
Andre
naming
Johnson.
receivers that
Dark
are
horse
taller.
in the league.
You're naming receivers that are taller than 6'2".
He was only 6'1", bro.
That's a
Yo,
better comparison.
Andre Johnson was only
I'm glad
6'1"
you
and
said
like
that, Toma.
200,
I'm glad you
which is
said
like
that. That's a better comparison right there. Andre Johnson and George
Is
Pickens, because they had the same type of caliber quarterbacks, like you say, thrown to them.
Yep.
If you look at them stat by stat, Andre Johnson has done a lot with less.
Okay, but Andre Johnson also had a better running back that could create more looks for the receivers.
George Pickens had Najee Harris.
And he had a dominant
One-hit
defense. He had a dominant defense with him that could create those opportunities for the
Squad-
offense to get the ball
Yeah,
more.
The Steelers never had a dominant
Hold on. Because the Steelers did have a good defense, but they didn't have the defense that the Texans had whenever Andre Johnson was there.
Yes, they did.
No, they did
always
not.
had-
No, they did not.
Trip.
They did not.
Trip.
They had
All right, hold on.
2, if not 3,
Hold on,
really
hold on,
good
I'm about to look it
playmakers
up
on
right
that
now.
team.
Hold on,
2
hold
or
on.
3, if not 2 or 3 playmakers on their team total with TJ Watt. You know You know what I'm saying? You had an older Harrison. You know what I'm saying? You had Mika Fitzpatrick. Those were the bread and butter of their team. You know what I'm saying? Texans, you had Delta O'Neal. You had JJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? You had what's that linebacker's name? I forgot his name. Number 50. What's his name? What's his name, man? But the Texans defense was their team. You know what I'm saying? Arian Foster was that offense
from
too.
The time Pickens got into start. I'm just only going off of starting from 22 to 24.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers was ranked 10th, 6th, and 8th in points allowed. The Texans in 22 was
with the Mike Tomlin. You're going to be able to do that. With the Mike Tomlin, you're going to be able to do that.
Bottom third of the league. Then they was 14th in the league.
With the Mike Tomlin, you're going to be able to do that. He's a defensive minded coach. You're going to be able to do that with the Mike Tomlin.
The Texans had was when they were 6th in the league in total defense, but they were still 14th in points allowed. The Steelers were still top.
Look at that coaching scheme that they had as well. Look at that coaching scheme that they had as well. They didn't have a very good coaching scheme as much Mike Tomlin had.
The Steelers always have had the better defense since George Pickens been in the league, and they always had Najee Harris.
Which was not as good as Arian Foster.
That Houston team also had, the ability to run the ball a lot more with Arian Foster since he had a 2,000-yard season, basically.
Almost,
and
every
they
year.
dominated time of possession.
They was built to run.
So Andre could get better looks. Andre could get better looks with that type of offense than Pickens could.
But that was less touches, like you said. It would have been less touches for Andre Johnson.
But better percentage touches though. Because the double team was taking away a lot more with the better running back.
He always got the number. He did that while always getting the number one corner. He always faced Darrell Reeves. He always faced like your Champ Bailey.
Not always. You gotta understand. The percentage of him playing those cornerbacks, you know what I'm saying, was once every other year. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna face everybody in your conference that's outside of your division, but once every 2 years. You only face your division. You only got to count. Now, the only time you would count really good corners if they were in your division, then you face them 2 times per year. I would take that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand.
You're still facing every defense's number one cornerback.
Right.
Not every team is going to have a superstar cornerback,
the ratio that you face them would probably be less. Would definitely be less than 10% of your career.
Teams a season, so you only got 16 opportunities. You only gonna face 16 people. Basically.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So with that, you know what I'm saying? With that, Pickens has faced more better number one receivers, number one corners majority of his career because Antonio Bryan and Metcalf wasn't with him majority of his career. You know what I'm saying? He had CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb played 6-7 games. You know what I'm saying? On top of that,
Pickens got to be the number one for half the year last year.
More than half the year. Yes. Yeah. And still got 1,400 yards. And still got 1,400 yards.
He did very good.
And still got 1,400 yards.
As well as he should.
With a dual threat quarterback.
Break up his yard percentage from the time that he was getting when CD got hurt, and then before CD got hurt.
Like
but you give him a fully healthy Joe Montana. You give him a fully healthy Joe Montana. He's gonna have more than 1,400 yards that he had with Dallas.
All right, let me. Listen to this real quick.
Like that potentially, yeah.
Exactly.
Listen to this real quick, Trip. I'm gonna name the corners that Pickens has faced since he's been in the league since 2020. Like that's considered top.
He came in the league. He came in the league in 2022.
2022. He faced Marlon Humphreys, Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward is good.
Jalen Ramsey.
Patrick Surtain is probably the best on the.
Jalen Ramsey.
Surtain is number one.
Jalen Ramsey, Sauce Gardner, Jalen Johnson, and Xavier Howard. Andre Johnson when it gets the road.
There's a lot more.
And if we looking at that list, because I'm a Ravens fan, Marlon Humphrey, it depends on what year we talking about, for real. If we talking about 22, the year 22 when he first got in the league, when Pickens got in the league, Marlon Humphrey was still in his prime. Denzel Ward is up in the air with him because he in our division. Jalen Ramsey and Patrick Surtain.
He has moments, but he's not like top 10 right now. I wouldn't put him at top 10.
Right. Patrick Surtain, Jalen Ramsey, and Sauce Gardner is probably the best on that list.
Yeah, those are top 10 cornerbacks. Yeah, for sure of this era, definitely.
Andre Johnson was going against Nnamdi Asomugha in his prime, Darrell Reeves, Champ Bailey. He was going against Charles Woodson. He was going against Asante Samuel.
Hold on, you said who? You said who? You said who?
Who was going against them?
Who was going against them?
Nnamdi Asomugha.
Who was going against
them?
Charles Woodson was old in Calvin Johnson's time. Charles Woodson was old.
Calvin Johnson started in 2003. I'm saying
exactly. Charles Woodson was ending his. Charles Woodson's last year in his career was 2005.
He was still balling.
Exactly, and he was running the show.
Look. I'm gonna name you. I'm gonna name you all of the top. I'm gonna name you all of the top cornerbacks that he has faced in that Jerry Rice has faced in his career. Number one is Darrell Green, which he's faced only. Hold on. Darrell Green. He's only faced Darrell Green a total of 4 times in his career. He faced Deion Sanders 10 times in his career. All right. You got also understand. Listen. You also understand Jerry Rice has 310 total games under when the center snapped the ball. 310. So it's not a very big ratio. He faced Rod Woodson 4 times in his career. Champ Bailey 2 times in his career. Charles Woodson. He faced Charles Woodson 6 times in his career. Ricky Reynolds, which is okay, cool, but he's not elite like that. You know what I'm saying? He faced him a total of 3 times in his career. Nate Adomis, he faced him a total of 7 times in his career. Eric Thomas, he faced him a total of 2 times in his career. You got to understand the ratio of how many times he faced elite cornerbacks was not very big.
And how many times did he face Deion Sanders? That's the question.
10 times. 10 times. That's 3%. That is 3% of his career. That's 3%.
That's a lot of times to be facing.
That's only 3%.
He's the greatest corner outside of Reeves. He's probably the greatest corner that ever played the position. Again,
but he's not a very good tackler though. He's not a very good tackler.
Tackling don't matter.
Okay, so now you got hold on. You got this is now out of those cornerbacks, out of those 8 cornerbacks that I named, only 6 of them ran faster than a 4.5. I'm sorry, I ran faster than a 4.
Green was one because Darrell Green was probably the fastest.
Yeah. Okay, so
like
out of those 8 that I named,
faster than every corner in the league.
No, he's not. Actually, 2 cornerbacks that Pickens has faced has a faster 40 times.
Who are they? And they probably trash too. They definitely trash.
It wouldn't matter because they're faster.
Yeah, you could be fast, but if you get duped,
you can be fast.
If you get duped and broke, bro, that's a different story. Exactly,
that's
bro.
What I'm saying.
No. But listen. Check it out. Out of those eight cornerbacks that I named that Jerry Rice has faced, only 6 of them are faster than a 4.5. Okay, now you go back.
Deion Sanders and Darrell Green is one.
No, okay, so he's faced Darrell Green, who ran a 4.28. He faced Deion Sanders, who ran whose official combine was a 4.19. His unofficial was a 3.98. Okay, then you had Rod Woodson.
Imagine that 4.19. Just imagine that.
No. Listen. Rod Woodson ran a 4.33. Champ Bailey ran a 4.28. You know what I'm saying? Charles Woodson ran a 4.37.
Look at the speed he's
and Eric Thomas ran a 4.38. But listen. You got average corners. You got average corners who can do that though nowadays. Denzel Ward ran a 4.32. Marshawn Lattimore ran a 4.36. Jair Alexander ran a 4.38. Byron Jones ran a 4.36. You know what I'm saying? You had Christian Gonzalez ran a 4.38. Darius Slay ran a 4.36. Tyreek Woolen ran a 4.24. You know what I'm saying? Davon Witherspoon.
The receivers you named,
bro. They're not Deion. They're not Champ Bailey, bro. They get
all these cornerbacks.
Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey, Jace Horn. You got
none of them corners you named. None of them corners you named is going to the Hall of Fame. None.
Oh my God. Okay, so now this goes back to me telling you there are not as many elite level corners as there were back then. You had one every other team back then. Now you got corners who can do that. Who can do
you don't have elite corners on. You don't have
because there's not as much room to be an elite cornerback as it was back then.
It's enough room. It's just hard.
It's harder. It's a lot harder because a lot more can do those things. Can do those things that they could do back then.
It's because the NFL has adapted so much more than it
Exactly,
has. From 30
exactly.
years
So it's a
ago
lot
and how
harder to
offenses
make
overran.
the. It's a lot harder to make the Hall of Fame now than it would be back then.
But that point lands more in Jerry Rice's favor. This is a pass happy league where you can't
Definitely
even.
is.
I
Okay,
can't
so
even, I can't even
but
touch you.
at the same time,
Hold on,
at the same time, San Francisco was a pass happy team.
But even if that's the case, even
Yeah,
if that's the case, you can't press.
Pittsburgh wasn't.
You can't
Pittsburgh
press
wasn't.
beyond 10 yards. They was able to press back in the
Pittsburgh's always been
80s from 5, 10 to 15 yards. And you can keep your hand on the receiver. So imagine
they weren't, but they weren't West Coast.
Is.
They weren't West Coast like San Francisco was back then.
No,
but that's pass happy and
so their clock management. They were more into clock management. They were more into clock management.
A lot of people in the Hall of Fame from the 90s and 80s that are wide receivers, they don't have 1,000 catches, bro, at all, bro. You know how hard it is to get 1,000 catches, bro? Back then it was crazy.
A lot harder.
It's a lot harder
now.
Not when you were with the San Francisco 49ers, because they passed 83% of their time.
A regular year. That's a regular year. But I'm saying
it's a reason
San Francisco passed 83% of their time whenever they snapped the ball. They were going to pass 83% of their time. Especially when they had Joe Montana. Especially when they had Joe Montana.
You got so many things that are different now in football that don't allow players to be the superstars that the
so what I'm saying,
eras were like back
the argument
then.
here, the argument here is
2,000 yards.
Yeah. So the argument here is to basically say to basically say that Jerry Rice's career placement, you know what I'm saying, in his setup to win was a lot better than Pickens was. But Pickens, as a human being, as the athletic ability that he has, would be able to dominate in the era that back then because of his ability, his height, his strength, his speed. You know what I'm saying? He runs a 4.39. Okay, Jerry Rice ran a 4.46. Okay, so the speed is
almost a 4.19.
No, he didn't. I got the stats pulled up.
Even if that's the case, he's way faster than Pickens.
No, he's not. He's not.
He is way faster.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I got all of the stats pulled up and their 40 times.
A footstep.
No, it's not. It's actually a 4.39. 0.5 is a whole body. 0.5 is a whole body.
But Trip, let me tell you this real quick. If he played in the 80s, right? There would have been no passing. Interference for pressing.
But he's bigger. He'd be able to get off of the ball a lot better.
But you're acting like these receivers was like some shrimps. They weren't no shrimps back in the day.
They weren't as big as what they are now.
Bro.
You know how tall they were?
They weren't as big. What receiver? Name me all the receivers that were taller than 6'2" back then. Name me all the receivers that were taller than 6'2" in the 80s. I guarantee you could probably only name 5 at total, and they weren't real big names.
They were hitting harder, bro. They were hitting way harder, bro, than what they hitting now,
Again, that's where the size difference comes in, because Pickens is 6'3", almost 6'4", and Jerry Rice is what, 6 foot? He's 5'11", 6 foot at most.
I know 5'9". I knew 5'9" corners that was locking up 6'3", 6'4" corners in the NFL.
And this goes to strength. And this goes to strength abilities. This goes to strength abilities. Pickens did. This goes to strength abilities. Pickens did his 225. He did that 10 times. Jerry Rice only did it 3. The strength is way big of a difference. So Pickens will be able to create that separation.
Jerry Rice was 6'2". You had Art Monk that was 6'3". You had Herb Carmichael that was 6'8" at receiver. You had Stanley Morgan that was 6'4". Mark Clayton that was 6'4". Rory Green that was 6'6". Chris Collinsworth. You got all these. You had a receiver that was 6'8".
Okay, keep going. That
played the receiver position.
Keep going.
I'm just naming you. I'm just giving you a few.
Keep going. It wasn't that many.
But I'm just giving you
that many nowadays.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You got backups that are just as big.
You didn't see kids growing the way they are nowadays, and these athletes turning up the way they are now, though, and being, born into sports from the age of 1, 2, 3 years old. And
so the athletic ability now is a lot greater.
So you put Pickens back then without that ability, without the ability to have what he has now, and then go back then with that lanky ass stature. He ain't gonna do nothing.
Okay, so
He
but
gonna get
he
hurt.
gets
also
he
like
gets
I said,
from the time that the ball is
like I
snapped
said, if you put them
until
in
beyond 15 yards, that makes it hard.
you put
That
them
makes you
in the
gassed.
same exact situations, Pickens would be able to do those things that Jerry Rice did. You know what I'm saying?
Based off of last season, I can see your argument. Based off the previous 2-3 seasons, no, he was a crybaby. He threw fits and he lost.
Well, yeah.
Many
If you're the
opportunities.
only look, if
You
you're
know
the
what I'm saying?
only, if you're
Dropping
the
the ball.
only look, if you're pretty much the only look, and you got a quarterback that he had, yeah, I would too.
Yeah,
I
but
would
at the same
too.
time, you do that shit in the 80s, you ain't playing. You getting on the bench.
Right.
I mean, shit.
It's different.
But
I
look, you
think
also understand, Rice wasn't put in a position where he could cry or he could do those things because he got good looks. He got good looks. He got good looks.
It wasn't even a style back then.
Right. But he had good looks. He had good looks. He was set up to win. He was set up to win where he didn't have to do all of those complaining and crying that he did. He went to the Seahawks, but when he went to the Seahawks, he did a lot of that complaining though. He did a lot of it.
Well, yeah, when you're 40 years old,
you're 40.
That's what's going to happen.
No, he went to the Seahawks before he went to the Raiders. He was mid-30s. He was in his prime.
What he do in the Raiders? I don't even want to talk about that one. What he was doing with the Raiders? He
had Jeff Garcia. He had a damn good running back
Rich
too.
Gannon.
Yeah, Rich Gannon.
Yeah, Rich Gannon, not Garcia.
Rich Gannon. Yeah, Rich Gannon. Lucky lefty, Rich Gannon.
Yes, sir. MVP took him to the Super Bowl and got smoked by the motherfucking John Gruden Buccaneers.
With Rich Gannon. He was Randy Moss on the Raiders before Randy Moss got to the Raiders.
Yeah, he was doing it, but they also had Tim Brown on the
They
other
also
side.
had a good team. They also had a good team to do that.
But we can't act like
we was running too. We had a squad that year.
Yeah, they had a good team.
3 years. Yeah, it was a good offense. It was a good setup offense. That's the thing, though. You have multiple good receivers. I think Pickens mainly fed off of the fact that he had a number one next to him in Pittsburgh with DK, getting 99% of the attention of the defense, and Pickens was an afterthought more often than not, unless DK was off the field.
Right,
Other than that,
we also got to understand. Yeah, you also got to understand with his situation.
Number one,
yeah,
and they also had a great tight end, and they were trying to run the ball more and change the offense because they were too fast.
And still got 1,400 yards. And still got 1,400 yards.
He still did, yes, as well he should. When he was the number one for 75% of the games, that's a damn good fucking season for him. Yeah. But based on that, all the years prior to that, what did he really do? Nothing.
Well, also, you got, like I said, you got to understand though, J Money. You guys got to understand though, J Money. Justin Fields is not a good look for a quarterback to give you that many looks.
This is true. This is true.
He's not going to give you as many. He's not going to give you as many looks. He's not going to give you. He's not going to give you as many looks as Montana would have given you. On top of that, he tucks the ball a lot more. He tucks the ball a lot more than he throws. You know what I'm saying?
This is true. It's a situational.
So that's going to take your production in half.
That's why I'm saying your argument is semi-valid with the season he had with Dallas this past year in the absence of CD. But if you put the number one there next to him, if CD's not hurt last year, Pickens doesn't get half of them yards. I don't think that he gets towards the end.
Also because Dallas is not a West Coast. Also, Dallas doesn't. They're more run than they are pass. You know what I'm saying?
To an extent, but I mean, realistically, Dak's out there throwing the ball 50 times a game, and they're running the ball 15, 20 times because they have no run game and haven't had.
No, they have Williams. Williams is a damn good running back. He got 1,200 yards.
Dallas is known more for passing. Since Zeke left, when known more when Zeke was.
That's a balanced offense. That's always been a balanced offense. Always.
They ran the ball, but they weren't successful.
But they've always thrown the ball more statistically than they ran the ball.
No, lately they've been more successful passing. Yes, lately, but they've always been a balanced offense. Always, no matter what. Especially with the coach they have now. Especially with the coach they have now. You know what I'm saying? He's straight up a balanced offense coach.
Well, now, I can understand that. But previously, in the last few years, they had.
Jason Garrett was more pass heavy. Jason Garrett was more pass heavy, but that was when Dak was tucking it more too.
It's because he didn't have a run game. Because
and also that was before he fucked his ankle up too.
True. Yes, sir. What's up, Will? What's up, Will?
What's going down, Will? Oh, he's muted. He's muted. What's going down, Will? But
He up in the chat.
my argument here, you know what I'm saying? You got also, we're taking into consideration that Pickens has 4,000 yards right now in his 4-year career. Okay, 4,200 yards and 21 touchdowns. Okay, in 4 years. All right, you multiply that times 5. All right, you multiply that times 5. That 21 touchdowns times 5 is 210. 4,270
times 5 is 110.
I'm sorry, 110. 110. You know what I'm saying? Also, you guys also understand. You also got to understand he has 65 regular season games played. Okay, that's not considering the fact that if they make the playoffs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to add to that if that happens. Okay.
Yeah, and how many yards and touchdowns does Jerry have in the playoffs as well? Take that into consideration.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so he has 20,000. He has 20,000 total. He has 20,000 total yards in his career in receiving.
That's crazy work.
But just line up their first
and 200.
Just line up from when Pickens got in the league, how many years that was to present, and line up their first few years to size them up together.
You also have to take consideration of the people he lined up against weren't as athletic as they are now. So he's going to be able to do those.
But that's the point. Pickens is not going against no elite corners
because there's not enough room to be elite and stand out like that, like they was back then. You had so much more talent nowadays. And so much more people running faster than 4.4s nowadays than there were back then. So you have no room to be elite and stand out like that, like you did back then. You had so many more people able to stand out back then than you could now. You know what I'm saying?
The reason there's room to be elite is because every team has an elite corner. Some teams have 2, some teams have 1, some teams even have maybe 2.5.
Nowadays they do. Back then they didn't. Back then they didn't.
You consider your safety as that corner.
Back then though, there were probably one every 3 teams that had an elite level cornerback.
For that time, but I think you're comparing it for the time we in now, what they would be considered. But back then, in that time, those corners were elite. So it's fair to say it because he was born in that time and he was only playing in that time, just like Jerry Rice.
He was set up with a team to be able to do that.
He would be stronger, all that stuff you said.
Look, so what I'm saying is if you take the Falcons or if you take the Colts now, you know what I'm saying? And you take their abilities, you know what I'm saying, their training or whatever they've done to be the athletes that they are now. All right? And you put them in the 80s, they're winning 3 out of the 10 Super Bowls in that year.
No way.
Yes, they are. Because the athletic ability that they have now is far superior than back then. So Jerry Rice didn't face the talent level that Pickens played.
Offensive lineman size. The reason I'm saying that, the reason I'm saying no is because you can have all the athleticism alone. A lot of the games is won in the trenches. A lot of these linemen nowadays, they're more agile. They're less heavy as they used to be. Imagine them going against the 86 Bears defense. Well, Mike did you got them playing against
out there.
some top corners and safeties. They might not be as fast as, but you can run zone to cover.
Both my Jets tackles are bigger and stronger than more than half of the 80s linemen. Mimbu and
they can be taller.
No, we're talking about 6'6", 340, 350 pound linemen nowadays.
Oh, yeah, you got to think too of weight training and
that can run 4.4s and 4.5s.
Things that are being done now, it's a different lifestyle.
So it's a lot less room to be elite.
Motherfuckers who was just going out eating a whole bunch of steak and fucking, you know what I mean, packing up protein.
Yeah, there's a lot less room to be elite.
It's a different life. It's a whole different style. It's a different game. It's a different era.
Yeah.
Back then, yes, there may have been less, of the type of, crazy athleticism that you see nowadays, but it's a lot more prevalent now because we see it all because of media. Everybody was still just as athletic back then, but it wasn't everywhere.
You can't
to
tell
an
me,
extent.
and you can't tell me Reggie White couldn't play right now at defensive end.
Reggie
Yeah,
White,
exactly.
Reggie,
Or Bruce Smith.
There's players.
Okay, so
There's
there are
different players in areas
handpicked players back then that could come into the league right now.
But
that would be
everybody now
all pro
just
level,
because their
but
big pass
not
is
like
strong
legendary
now,
level like
put
they
them
were
in the
back then.
era, put them in that era back then with the rules and how the game was played, with the play style, without the air raid offenses, without the special way that we look at the analytics of football and everything that they do now meticulously to game plan for football.
Right.
Put them back in the 80s when it was just some old school ass fucking draw a play on your clipboard or on your little clipboard and go out and run a play and shit.
Yeah.
Have some fun. Shit was crazy back then. It was a lot different.
Right.
Nowadays, things are made
so
for
the
people
adjustments
to be more successful.
So the adjustments and the adjustments, the body adjustments that Pickens had to make his difficult catches, he'd be able to make those so subpar, if not, I'm saying, good level.
If they're running that type of offenses,
but
back
I
then,
think
they
you
weren't
gotta
throwing
take
the ball 90 yards down the field, though.
You also got to understand. You also got to understand that San Francisco ran the ball. Probably ran the ball 20 to 25 times per game. So that's more opportunities Pickens would have gotten. You know what I'm saying, compared to what he's gotten. You know what I'm saying, in the Steelers in the Cowboys. That's more yards that he could have gotten.
Even if that's the case, if he played like J Money was saying, if he played in the 80s, he first got to deal with the press, bump and run all the way past 15 yards, which receivers don't even get to do now.
Bro, Pickens runs. Hold on real quick. Pickens runs a 4.40. You know what I'm saying? So
it don't matter. A lot of times it don't matter if you can't get off the press. If you
don't think Pickens can get off the press, he's stronger.
I'm not saying he can't, but I'm saying that with you in your mind, you having to deal with that 24/7 every game, you having to deal with the press, and then on top of that, those angle catches you talking about, a lot of them catches, it looks so pretty and they look so nice because nobody is really able to hit you the way that they want to hit you because of the game and rule changes. The league, you can't even touch them past 5 yards. It is meant for the rules that they made is meant for offenses that are pass happy to get more receiving yards,
right?
To make football more quicker, so fans can stay more engaged.
Right.
Back then they didn't care about that. It was more about the contact.
Yes,
so imagine Pickens trying to do them pretty catches.
But the throws were a lot more difficult to catch now than they was back then because you had Montana, who could put it right there in the breadbasket.
But I wouldn't say it would be more difficult because you still had elite quarterbacks that were still throwing dimes. Just because they weren't
What elite quarterback has Pickens had since he's played?
I don't even remember who Pickens' quarterbacks was when he played.
You right, because they were third string at best. His best quarterback he's ever had was right now Dak Prescott, who is nowhere near. Who's nowhere near. Appreciate you for the 999. Appreciate the Dodgers.
Maybe Roethlisberger.
Yeah, the Dodgers. Yeah, now the Dodgers is they dominating this MLB, man. Hey, my Phillies are up there too. We just got done beating the Orioles twice, 10-0, and 4-0. My Phillies gonna be there too.
Watch baseball.
Hold on, Mason Rudolph helped him get his biggest stat year.
Who?
Hold on, don't forget about me.
No. His biggest stat year is this year. His biggest stat year is this year. I'm saying with 1,400.
I'm saying his biggest stat year with the Steelers was with Mason Rudolph.
With Brissett. It was with Brissett. But what I'm saying is, and that was almost 1,200 yards. That was almost 1,200 yards off of 65 catches though. Off of 65 catches, 1,100, 1,200 receiving yards off of 65 catches and 145 looks. You know what I'm saying? 145 compared to 187 a season that Jerry Rice got. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, he had 135 catches out of those 185 throws. You see the radius? You see the radius of abilities to catch? See the radius between the abilities to catch the ball from a good pass?
He had 63 catches or 1,140 yards with Mason Rudolph. He had 5 TDs. He had 18 yards per catch, and he had 106 targets in 17 games.
You see how many targets? You see how many targets were taken away from him? Now 106 at the pace he was going with Mason Rudolph. All right. You give him those 80, you give him those 81 more opportunities. All right. You give him those 81 more opportunities with 1,100 receiving yards. All right. 81 more catches. The pace is there to pass 1,800. The pace is there to pass 1,800.
A whole lot of ifs.
The pace is there to pass 1,800 right there. I'm just saying.
Hold on, I'm about to look it up. Hold on,
the pace is there to pass 1,800.
I don't really think it's that much difference. Hold on. So look, Jerry Rice I'm just going off of the first 4 years. All right, this is the first 4 years. Jerry Rice first year, he had 98 targets. Pickens had 84. Second year, he had 152. Pickens had 106.
Again, you
Rice had
you gotta give him that quarterback. You gotta give him the quarterbacks. The quarterback.
Pickens
the quarterback.
Hold on, I'm just saying he had 103. He had 176 in his fourth year, and Pickens had 149 with Dallas. So total targets, Jerry Rice had 565 in his first 4 years, and Pickens had 442.
Mm-hmm.
That's only 150 target difference.
Yeah, well, okay. You see the yards. You see the yard difference. What's the yard difference? What's the yard difference? What's the yard difference? What's the yard difference?
All right, hold on.
Different offenses too. Keep that in mind.
Exactly.
Jerry also had John Taylor. He also had tight ends.
Also Jerry Rice had a more elite quarterback too.
Different places. That's what we don't consider Jerry Rice.
The ball was given to him with a better opportunity as well, with a better quarterback.
So look. This the yards. So Jerry Rice's first year was 927, and Pickens was 801.
Mm-hmm.
His second year was 1570 for Jerry Rice. Pickens had 1,140. Jerry Rice had 1,078. Pickens had 900.
Mm-hmm.
His fourth year,
you see the attempt difference.
The year that Jerry Rice had the most targets, he only had 1,306, and Pickens had 1,429 with that.
1,306.
So the targets don't. That's what I'm saying.
So look. With that being said, you see how many on his fourth year with Jerry Rice's fourth year. Name how many targets he got.
He had 179 and
179. Okay, so hold on. How many yards did he get?
He had 1,300. 1,306.
Bam! Right there. Stop right there. Okay, 179 looks off of 1,300 receiving yards. Pickens had how many? 106. 106. All right, with 1,400. Okay,
but you got to take in consideration.
You give him those 63 more. Hold on, you give him those 63 more looks. He's going far better than that 1,400, right? Go far better than 1,400.
We not consider.
No, hold on here. Hold on here. Hold on here. Because now you're only proving my point. Now you're only proving my point. You're only proving my point here. You're only proving my point.
That he's.
You're only proving my point. Okay, so look. You take those 1,400 yards that he still has, right? And you give him those 63 more looks on top of that. You know what I'm saying? At the pace. Not considering that some of those will be
300 yards. He'd have a good season. He'd have 1,800 yards. He'd have a good season.
Roughly.
He had another 60 opportunities, roughly.
You know what I'm saying? So
he'd have a great season.
You give him those same opportunities. You give him those same opportunities that Jerry Rice had. You give him those same opportunities Jerry Rice had. He's definitely passing his record every single time. Jerry Rice had more looks. Jerry Rice had more looks, better looks.
How do we know that he better looks?
Because
I think that's very like
Montana's going to create you a better look. Montana's going to create you a better look at a pass than Justin Fields and Randolph.
We're saying that based off his name. A lot of times Jerry Rice was making Montana look good. I'm telling you. A lot of times the reason Montana's name is. The reason Montana's Montana.
Look, check this out. The ratio of importance between a pass and a catch, okay, is majority on the quarterback. The quarterback's pass is more important in the situation than a receiver's catch, because if a quarterback does not get the ball in a spot the receiver can catch, okay, receiver 9 times out of 10 receiver is gonna get overlooked, underlooked, or put in a position where he's going to get his ass popped. All right. So the quarterback has to make that smart decision and the most important decision to put that receiver in a position where he can catch the ball better. Okay. Not only that, the ratio of importance of pass and catch is 60-40. All right. So the fact that you're saying that Jerry Rice would make Montana better is more so false, because Montana has to put the ball right there where Jerry Rice has to catch it in order for Jerry Rice to make the catches that he made. Okay, because if Jerry Rice underthrows that pass that he was up against Deion Sanders just catches the ball. Deion Sanders catches the ball in the end zone. He intercepts it, possibly takes it back.
I mean, you got to think too, though. Back then, the offense that the 49ers ran, Jerry Rice was not running go routes down the fucking field and running.
Not all the time, no. Not all the time, no.
All the time. He was throwing across the middle. He was running every single
But his radius of deep, radius of deep to mid to middle. His radius of deep to middle is 70 to 30. He was doing more deep routes.
Offense they ran, bro.
Exactly.
That West Coast offense, that Bill Walsh offense, was not a down the field fucking offense. It was a pass.
It was more deep. It was more deep. It was more deep. It was more deep.
It was mid. Nah, bro. They weren't throwing the ball deep back then. They did only.
T.O. was getting majority of the middle routes.
Trip. We live in a
action deep passes. It's
right.
A different
it wasn't a lot of
the ball deep 90% of the time. Now you throw the ball fucking deep every single play nowadays in the NFL.
Yeah.
You go up for the big play. Back then you weren't doing that. You did that 2 or 3 times the entire game. You see a 50 or 60 yard
comebacks.
play.
You did a lot of slants. You did a lot of China routes. You did a lot of break off corners.
Yes.
Yes, it wasn't a lot of
and the time in the pocket was a lot different as well. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe Montana had
Pickens did not survive in that era, bro. I'm telling you.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Unless if he only ran the routes he runs now, maybe.
He wouldn't even have survived. He wouldn't even have survived in the Ray Lewis era.
How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that?
He would have got hurt.
No, he's gotten hit plenty of times. He got plenty of times against bigger, faster corners, and he still hasn't gotten hurt yet.
Playing against Palomalu, Ed Reed, he would have been getting against Revis.
Again. Once by Ronnie Lott, he'd be out for the season.
No, he wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. He's gotten hit plenty of times in the 4 years that he's played in the NFL, and he's still.
If Calvin Johnson is getting smoked by smaller corners, you not telling me that Pickens is about to be out here like a Greek god.
Calvin Johnson also played in the era that Pickens in more of the era Pickens is in, instead of the era Jerry Rice played in.
Calvin Johnson
played in that. Calvin Johnson didn't even get into
the golden era. He was playing the last of the golden era. That Ray
Calvin Johnson came into the league in 2006. All right,
That was the last of that golden era. Because
Jerry Rice was gone before Calvin Johnson came into the league.
But I'm saying that was still the last of that golden era of still scrappy football. It was still scrappy football. You were still seeing more concussions on TV.
Again, but that's 1 year. That's 1 year. That's 1 year out of the 16 years that he's played. No, 20 years that he's played in the NFL. That's only 1 year.
You got to think too.
So he's played way more in this era.
Think about the last 10 years in the NFL. How many times we have seen the whole entire league go from an offensive league to a defensive league to no points being scored to now there's 1 million points being scored and vice versa, back and forth. It's just like the NBA.
League is now
it's the same thing the NBA did.
Facts.
That's why the NBA is the way
exactly, Will. Exactly, Will. He didn't need Rice, and Rice would have made any quarterback can throw a little better. Okay, so now this goes to if Montana didn't have Rice, if he had somebody like Rocket Ishmael, you know what I'm saying? If he had somebody like, you know what I'm saying? If he had T.O. as his number one instead, you know what I'm saying?
T.O.'s still a top fucking top
exactly,
5 receiver all time.
exactly.
Right.
which T.O. created a lot more open opportunities for Jerry Rice
like he was
because
amazing.
now when you got T.O. on the other side,
it's a different player.
When you got T.O. on
player.
listen, when you got T.O. on the other side, you're taking away double teams that Rice would have.
Same concept for Pickens with Metcalf and with CD
Exactly. But this is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. T.O. created a lot. Listen. No. T.O. has two, and T.O. has two with them. What I'm saying is, okay. So you take T.O. away from Jerry Rice. All right, take T.O. away from Jerry Rice. There's more double teams and less looks that Jerry Rice would have. All right, because one, you're taking away the double teams. You're taking away the bad throws that probably would happen because if T.O. doesn't get open, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot less looks that he's going to look on the other side. Okay, so majority of the time he's going to be throwing to Jerry Rice, which is less likely passes that Jerry Rice is going to catch. Okay, so bam, if you take away
caught him, though, that's the problem.
On top of that, that goes to show that Montana's just that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that,
when you're talking about T.O., you're talking about Jeff Garcia.
Hold on, I want to make sure you're right. T.O. never got a Super Bowl with the 49ers. So that was what I was about to say. He never got one.
He got one with Donovan McNabb and the Eagles.
He didn't win the Super Bowl. He didn't win the Super Bowl.
He lost. He lost. Yeah, he didn't win the Super Bowl at all.
To the GOAT. To the GOAT.
Yeah, I forgot. He came back with a broken leg that year and still shitted in the Super Bowl and they still lost. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn, that shit hurt too.
That's what I was about to say, because T.O. came at the very end when Jerry Rice was about to be out the door. And Jerry was there for Steve Young.
Yeah, Jerry was there with T.O. for, I want to say, 2 seasons at most.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 years.
And it was 3.
Yeah. And was it 3? Well, the third season, that's when T.O. really came on. And then it was, I think, Jerry Rice Day or some shit. And T.O. had 20 catches in that game. And that was it. Jerry's like, all right, I'm out. And he dipped after that. That season was a wrap for Jerry because he was basically at the point where I think the 49ers weren't trying to pay him no more. And they was ready to let him go and move on because they had the new number 1 in T.O. and he proved it with 20 catches in that game. And he was out there stunting. And T.O. was nice.
But Jerry Rice has 3 rings. Jerry Rice has 3 rings. He has 4 Super Bowl appearances and 3 rings.
Yep. He went to the Super Bowl with the Raiders.
He went to the Super Bowl with the Raiders, and he went to the Super Bowl 3 times with the 49ers, once in the 80s and 2 times in the 90s.
Now, I'm not disagreeing that
all of them of which was with Joe Montana.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, Trip, that George Pickens is not a great receiver in the NFL. Like I said before.
Wasn't Jerry in the Super Bowl in 94 with Steve Young against the Chargers?
Yep. No. Yeah, they won. They won.
Wasn't Jerry the MVP of that Super Bowl?
Yeah, he was the MVP when he caught it in the back of the end zone.
Yeah. That was 94 against the Chargers.
And I was about to say, George Pickens is definitely a great receiver in the NFL. I would consider him like a star caliber receiver. Not as quite.
No. Look, he has two Super Bowl wins with Joe Montana and 1 Super Bowl win with Steve Young.
Steve Young, yeah,
yep.
Yeah. That's how it was. It was 2. Yep. Because he got one when I think with Joe Montana with the Jets, right? He went to the Jets.
Yep.
Or something like that. After that,
they beat the Bengals.
1988, he went with Joe Montana to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. 1989, he went with Joe Montana to beat the Denver Broncos. In 1994, he went with Steve Young, beat the Chargers.
But here's the kicker, Trip. What did Joe Montana do once Jerry Rice wasn't there? When he went to
nothing.
What are you talking about? Joe Montana was on his way out of the NFL.
But I'm saying when he went to go beat Broadway Joe, what happened?
What do you mean, Broadway Joe?
When he went to the Jets.
We were a build-up team back then.
Talking about Joe Montana?
Yeah.
We were a build-up. He went to the Chiefs. He was never on the Jets.
He's on the Chiefs.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you talk about us, you know what I'm saying, we're always picking up these old quarterbacks from other teams on a build-up season. So you can't even really just say he would even do good anyway when he.
It was the Chiefs. My bad.
He wouldn't have done good anyway.
It was definitely the Chiefs. They traded him.
It was the Chiefs.
They traded him. It was a shock trade
Yeah.
They traded his ass to the Chiefs for somebody. I forget who it was. Or he signed as a free agent. I can't remember which, but
Yeah, that was my
it was
bad. That was
definitely
my
weird.
bad.
I think that
But
was the year. I think that was the year when Derek Thomas died. Remember when Derek Thomas
Nah,
had
for
8
real,
sacks in
Will.
the game and
We're
then he
ready
died
for
in
football.
that car accident? Derek Thomas, linebacker for the Chiefs, one of the greatest. RIP.
Yeah, RIP.
He had 8 sacks in the game, boy. That shit was crazy.
Now, I do think
Who would be y'all's number one football player of all time in any position? Number one football player. Just one pick. If you had one pick, to build,
can we break it up by position?
No. Period. If you had one player to build a team around, overall, number one player to build a team around, who would be your number one pick of all players in the NFL?
Which era are we playing?
No, any era.
That's crazy.
That's hard to say because it's stuff.
Mine's easy. Mine's easy. Lawrence Taylor. Mine's easy. I'm sorry.
The defensive man.
Number one.
Yes,
my number one pick would be Lawrence Taylor.
Oh no, I'd probably have to go with. If I had to, I'd probably say Walter Payton.
Sweetness. Okay. If you talk about running backs, I'm definitely go with Joe
or Barry.
No,
it's gonna be Barry or Walter. Definitely, or possibly even Emmett.
I'll go Bo Jackson. I go Bo Jackson over anybody.
If Bo Jackson never got hurt, he's breaking damn near everybody's records. In my opinion, he wouldn't have blown his hip out. Bro.
That's a freak, right? That's a freak athlete.
He was a baseball player.
That's a freak
and
athlete.
a baseball player too, and he was out there killing it with the Royals and the White Sox.
That's a hard decision. That is crazy.
Because you could go with Jerry Rice. You could go with different.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have this once a week. We're gonna do this once a week.
Quarterbacks. You could go with like Tom Brady. You could go with a quarterback like that.
Yeah. Who by the way made Deion Branch and David Givens even in conversation to be elite. Even in conversation, any other quarterback that they would have had, they probably wouldn't have made half of the catches that they did. I'm sorry. Not without Tom Brady. I'm sorry. The quarterback is the most important part of the play of a quarterback and receiver throw and catch. And quarterback is 60-40 more important than the receiver's catch. Because if the quarterback's not able to put that ball there, the receiver's not catching it.
True. One thing I would have liked to have seen as a fan was the way Peyton Manning started to run offenses towards the end of his career. He was doing that in the beginning, from like the early stages out of Tennessee coming into the league, and being able to give that freedom. What he would have been able to accomplish as a quarterback, I think he would have won a lot more if he was given that freedom. Because what he started to do and the way he changed the game with the way he was calling things at the line with the audibles, that was different. And honestly,
he used to make it tough for the Ravens. I ain't gonna lie. Ray Lewis used to be.
He used to make it tough for everybody.
Hate playing
everybody.
But to answer your question, Trip, if it was any air, I probably would take Ed Reed. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially.
Well, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
Ed Reed.
I'm taking Dawkins over Ed Reed. Just if I would go safeties, I'm going Dawkins over Ed Reed.
If you want somebody that can hit, but if you want somebody gonna catch a pick and get you a touchdown, you know who to call.
If y'all doing that, if y'all doing that,
and he returned the ball a lot.
I'd have to go with Deion over both of them. If you're gonna go with any type of defense,
but he's talking about safeties. He's talking about safeties.
So you going on the back end?
That would have been my first pick, but just I'm thinking like Deion. Over the top. That can play corner. He could play corner and safety.
Deion, I don't know.
Deion was also out there on the
Charles Woodson. I'm going Charles Woodson.
Receiver too.
I'm going Charles Woodson because of his physicality. Or Sean Taylor. At least Sean Taylor.
Hey, call me crazy. I love Charles Woodson, but I don't think was even as good as Nnamdi Asomugha. I think Nnamdi is better than him in his prime. Nnamdi was destroying.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson was hype. I ain't gonna lie.
If Nnamdi, who was old girl that Nnamdi got caught up with? That fine ass woman. I forgot.
I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Will say he taking
same
Tom
thing
Brady.
with Tony Romo ass.
Is that who you taking? Will you taking Tom Brady?
If Jessica Simpson wasn't there, Tony Romo wins against the Seahawks.
Tony
Romo, him and Dak Prescott are like one and the same.
If Tony Romo wasn't lined up as their holder, they probably would have won.
If he wouldn't have bobbled that kick, bro. Yeah. Like, oh my goodness.
And if Kennedy would have never.
But this is my thing. Why would you put Tony Romo back there as your holder and he has a fucked up thumb? Why would you do that?
If Des Bryant wouldn't have dropped that ball either.
Yeah, exactly. They would have won the Super Bowl. They would have won the Super Bowl.
Hey,
And not taking
Des
nothing away
Bryant
from the
was nice,
Steelers.
too.
Not taking nothing away from the Steelers, but them Dallas Cowboys were set up to win.
Everything.
Them Dallas Cowboys were set up to win. For real. They were set up to win.
Yeah, they were.
They were set up to win.
The same thing with the Panthers. The Cam Newton, if you would have jumped on that fumble, man.
Yeah, Bo is him. Bo is him. So
wish
okay,
Cam
so who would
would've
be
got
your
him one.
quarterback? Who would be your quarterback that you would take of all
All-time
quarterbacks,
quarterback?
all time, any era,
That's crazy.
to start
a tough
to start a
one, to be honest with
franchise,
you.
start a franchise?
And I can build my receivers out the way I want to.
I'm going John Elway.
And
Ooh.
you saying I can build my receivers how I want to?
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
going.
shit,
I'm
taking
going John
Lamar.
Elway because all through his career he had no receivers. Still has
I'll
two
take
Super
it,
Bowl
Lamar.
appearances.
I'm either taking Lamar or Michael Vick and let me
Okay,
build my team the way I want
good
to.
one. I see where you're going with your offense. Who would be your running back? Oh, no, who's your quarterback? J Money. Who's your quarterback?
Man,
Tony
That's
Dorsett's a good one.
that's a
Tony
tough
Dorsett's a good
question.
one.
that is a tough question. If I'm going quarterback all time, man, that's tough.
Manning is better. Manning is better as far as like his football IQ. If you're asking Jock, if you're asking who's better as far as football
Peyton or
IQ,
Eli?
Manning has the best football IQ of all players in the NFL ever.
I think Peyton Manning is the best man.
I think he's asking which Manning is better, Peyton or Eli.
Oh, Peyton,
Yeah, I
by
think
far,
Peyton Manning is the best.
Peyton.
But I wouldn't sleep on.
Statistically,
I really wouldn't sleep on
Eli
Eli. I
was
think
nice.
Eli get the bad
Eli
of it
was
because
clutch.
he don't got a personality.
Yeah,
He
Eli.
don't got a
Yeah, he's-
But Eli's better. Eli was
Yeah.
set with a better overall team. You know what I'm saying?
He had a
No.
better defense. He
Way
had a
better defense.
for
The
many
defense.
years.
And
'Cause
better
I
running
bet
backs
Peyton
too.
always
And better
had-
running backs. And better
Hey,
running backs.
Nah. Hey,
No, he had Andrew James. Peyton
Yeah,
Manning had
Andrew
Andrew
James.
James.
Andrew
he
James.
had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. You got me
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah,
That's
but
a
also,
fire team.
also,
That's a
also,
fire
Dallas
team.
Clark.
also,
Didn't he have Dallas
also,
Clark?
Eli
And
Manning.
Dallas Clark,
Eli Manning
yeah.
had Plesko Burris, Cruz. He had what's his name? Amani
But
Toomer.
none of them receivers.
He had Amani
But
Toomer.
none of them
He had-
receivers.
He had Jeremy
statistically
Shockey.
was better than
He
Marvin
had
Harrison
Jeremy
or-
Shockey. He had running backs. He had Brandon Jacobs. He had Tiki Barber. He had
Tiki Barber was nice.
He had Ahmad. No, not Bradshaw.
Ahmad Bradshaw, yeah, he
He had
was there
Ahmad
for a
Bradshaw.
minute, but
He had
I don't
Earth,
know if
Wind,
that
and
was that
Fire
time frame.
at their running back core. You know what I'm saying? He had hella good.
Yeah, it was Tiki and
He had
But
hella
I-
good.
but I- but I-
He had
I
hella
think a
good
lot of them-
receivers. Hella good receivers. Hella
But
good
I think
receivers.
I think Peyton overall.
Peyton Manning
had
grew up with
better-
only 3 to 4 elite receivers. Now I'm not
But
taking
they-
away
but
the
they
receiving
stayed
core
with
that he
him.
had. I'm not taking away that receiving core he had. You know what I'm
But
saying? Because
they stayed with him majority hit.
Exactly,
Dallas Clark stayed with him
exactly.
his whole career.
exactly. Out of the Mannings, you would say Eli. Ooh.
I don't blame you. I don't think it's a bad. I don't.
Eli was clutch.
Yeah, I don't
Eli
think
was
it's a
clutch
bad
player.
response because
He
he's the only
played.
one that really
And
beat
Eli-
Buck Brady.
I would take
Eli
Peyton. I would take
played.
Peyton, man. I would take Peyton over Eli.
Eli
Yeah,
was
but-
like one of them. What do they call him? The Iron Man. He ain't never missed
Yeah,
one
Eli
game
really
to the end of
beat.
his
He
career,
really
you know
beat
what I'm
Brady
saying?
twice. So I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
I mean, Peyton
Eli played like 200 plus
Peyton
straight
has more
games,
Super
and he
Bowl
was getting his ass
appearances.
whipped.
Peyton Manning has more Super Bowl appearances. You know what I'm saying? Granted,
I think Eli did be one of the best. I wouldn't say it's the best defense, but he be one
No,
of the best.
He
Hey,
no,
that Patriots defense was
Patriots
nice
defense
that year.
was nice.
It
but
was.
They
It
weren't
was.
as nice as the defenses that Peyton Manning played against. Peyton Manning played against the Baltimore defense. He played against that Green Bay
He
defense.
played Saints. Didn't he play against the Saints?
Yeah, in the Super Bowl when he was
Yeah.
playing when he was he played against that Seahawks defense that 12
He played against the Panthers.
the 12th man.
defense,
He
too.
played against the 12th man defense. You know what I'm saying? In the Super Bowl when he was with the Broncos. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Denver, when he was with Denver, he had a rough time over there because he had Darius Thomas and he had Darius Thomas and D'Angelo Thomas over there. You know what I'm saying? Which was okay core, but not as good as the core that Eli had when he won his Super Bowls. So and he also didn't have a very good tight end. You know what I'm saying? He had a
Oh, you talking about Demarius
Thomas.
the wide receiver?
yeah. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he
RIP.
and so he
Yeah,
didn't have the core that Eli had to be set up to win like that. You know what I'm saying? And also that
Yeah.
defense that Manning had was a little bit better than the defense that Eli had. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Eli's defense, he had some all
He had
time.
some monsters. He had some
Yeah.
monsters. He had some monsters. But their cornerbacks wasn't as good as
Shit, Jason Sehorn was out there locking people
they
down.
had
What
some,
you
they
mean?
had some crazy
yeah,
corners. They
I
absolutely-
get that. But shit, what's his name? Peyton Manning had a dominating 2 cornerback set over there, and a
for sure.
very
They always
dominating
had it.
safety,
Where?
very
It was-
dominating
it was-
safety
They
In
was
Denver
built
or
off of
in
defense.
Denver. Because when
In
he was
Denver,
with
maybe,
the
but
Colts, he had
definitely
Bob
not Navy.
Sanders. He had Bob Sanders,
Bob Sanders was all right at safety.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
Bob Sanders had Dwight Freeney.
Dwight
They
Freeney.
had Dwight Freeney. They had
Yep. What's the
trying to
name
think
too?
who
The
else
other
was on that
dude.
squad.
They had the
They
other
had some
dude.
dope
Akeem.
linebackers too.
They had
I
they
can't
didn't
even
have
remember
Hayward
that.
Bay. They
That's
didn't have Hayward Bay.
crazy.
Who else did they
Yeah,
have?
there's so many players that we've gone through in the years and years of
Yeah.
football, bro. That's the hard thing to remember everybody. But the
Yeah.
fact that we can remember half these people is crazy.
He had a
Hey,
damn
Trip,
good tight end
who did you
core.
say you was going to take for your team?
For my quarterback?
Man,
Quarterback.
My quarterback would be Elway.
Oh, Elway.
I think I might
Who
have
you
to.
say, J Money?
Well, Wallace says Tom Brady.
Man, it's tough for me. I'm still trying to think on this quarterback situation because there's so many different opportunities.
Eli didn't beat the defenses
And two,
on the way to the
so
Super
now,
Bowl.
okay.
He didn't beat the defenses that Peyton Manning beat. I get
with this
that.
particular
but he didn't beat
with
the
this
defense.
particular choice that we're making here now. Are we talking about
All time.
a team to
All time.
build with an era to
All
play in
eras.
this era
All
or
eras.
to play
All
in all
eras.
eras? Just an all-time team.
All
That's
eras.
a different
Yeah, that's
story.
why I'm taking. That's why I'm taking
So
Michael
if you're
Vick.
taking a Michael
Lamar.
Vick or you taking a Lamar, yeah, you put them back in the
Yeah, I'm
60s and 70s era.
Yeah.
They running, ain't nobody catching them. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but at the
that's why I'm
same
taking Lamar over Vick.
time, you have contained defenses nowadays that can contain that can or have the
Now,
abilities
yeah.
to contain
Now, yeah.
scrambling quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So
It's hard. It's really hard.
a pocket passing quarterback would be key to have as well in that instant. Now, my second pick behind John Elway would be Donovan McNabb.
That's who I was thinking, honestly. Donovan was a very good passer, and he was very mobile still at the
Very
same
mobile.
time, and he was very smart. So I feel like that would be a good pick. But if I'm going with more of a stationary quarterback, I would probably go Peyton, to be honest with you.
Peyton is a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so who would be your running back? Your number one running back?
For me, it'd either be Walter Payton or Barry Sanders. But
Ooh,
I would probably go. I would probably go with Barry just because Walter was nice, but Barry was special.
I'm taking Adrian
These
Peterson.
are the ones that work.
I'm taking Lamar with Adrian Peterson.
Ooh, that would be nasty.
I forgot about Adrian Peterson.
Over.
Okay, so my number one would be Bo.
Nice.
Matter of fact, the Raiders
Bo
had
Jackson,
the 1-2.
okay.
Matter of fact, the Raiders had the 1-2 that you could hardly think that the 1 and 2 would be Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. That's period point blank.
Nice.
You couldn't beat those two because Marcus Allen was doing it before Bo Jackson came into the league and still getting 1,000 yards by himself. And then when Bo came in, they moved Marcus Allen to fullback. That's that 1-2 punch you can't beat. You can't beat that.
Yeah, that's why I say if Bo would have stayed healthy, I honestly think he would be considered one of the all-time greats right now.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, statistically, physically, everything.
But if I were to have a better
athlete,
number 2 running back, I would take Edgerrin James as my number. No. I take that back. The corner. What's his name? Johnson. They used to play for the Cardinals. I forgot his name. I think. No. Damn, what was his name? He played for the Cardinals, number 6. 2019. Forgot his name. It's gonna hurt. Chris Johnson would be another number 2 I would pick. I would pick
Chris Johnson with CJ2K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was nice.
His first name is John. I think I forgot his name. I
don't know what the hell you're talking about on the Cardinals.
On the Cardinals, he was number 6. Number 6.
Oh, you talking about John Connor?
Who was that? Yeah, John Connor. There it is.
Connor?
John Connor.
Yeah, the running back.
Yeah.
Of all people, you gonna pick him?
I'll take John Connor. Or I take it back. Cadillac Williams would be another one too. Damn, my number 2 would be hard. My number 2 would be hard. I'm sorry.
I would take Adrian Peterson for my number one, and then if I had a backup running back, I probably low key would take Reggie Bush. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Reggie was stunning. That
Just for
boy was an
passing down.
athlete.
Man, fuck that. My number two would be Brian Westbrook. Fuck all that. My number two would be Brian Westbrook.
Was fire. I ain't gonna lie.
I take number two, Brian Westbrook. Final answer. Now, okay, so you're the number one receiver. Okay, no, go J Money. J Money.
Hold on. If you gonna switch it up, if you gonna do that with the Westbrook, I'm gonna switch it up. My number two gonna be Marshall Falk. Fuck what you talking about.
Ain't nothing wrong with that either. You can't go wrong with that either.
Ooh,
Marshall, one of the greatest pass catching out of the backfield of all time.
Yeah, he was.
You put him back there with a Peyton.
On top of that, his receiving ability was great as well.
I forgot he had Marshall Falk for a minute, and then Marshall left.
See, you see what I'm thinking? Because if I got like somebody like Marshall or Reggie in the backfield, yep, you're right. Your QB got to throw it. Your QB got to throw it. That's why.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so who would be your number one receiver is? Not your number two, just your number one.
My number one, let me think.
I'm taking Larry Fitzgerald every single time.
It's just, let me think, kind of.
Or George Pickens. Larry Fitzgerald, George Pickens. One of those two.
I'm taking T.O. right off rip. Size, speed, power.
I think I'm gonna just take. I'm gonna take Megatron. I'm gonna take Megatron.
Megatron's a nice pick.
Megatron.
Because with the offense I got, he can run block and
he can handle any error. Yeah, with his size and stature,
he
can handle any error.
Hey, if we're gonna just do a 1-2-3 on our wide receivers, you know what I'm saying? I'm going with him. I'm going with Torrey Holt in the slot. And then I'm going with Julio Jones on the other side.
Over Isaac Bruce?
Yep, I'm taking Torrey over Isaac Bruce.
Isaac Bruce was nice. And people sleep with Isaac Bruce too.
You taking Torrey Holt over Isaac Bruce?
I'm taking him
Torrey Holt was the better version. He was like the little brother that just
every day that ends with Y. Isaac Bruce was fast and had nice hands, but Torrey was the one. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Torrey was the one. He was. But Isaac Bruce was forgotten, like the forgotten person.
But you put Julio, you put T.O., and you put Torrey Holt with a Barry Sanders and or a Marshall Falk with a Peyton Manning. Good luck. You ain't stopping that.
I'm taking Calvin.
You need the Bears to stop that. You need the 85 Bears to stop that. Good luck.
You taking Calvin? Who else? Lucky.
I'm taking Calvin. If I needed a number 2 receiver, Calvin Johnson. I was trying to think who else could I take that. Let me just think of my slot. I would put like a for my slot receiver. I'm trying to think. It's so many receivers that's fire.
Like a Marvin Harrison, a small dude that's got that speed and that you know what I'm saying, that ability to catch everything.
I'm trying to think that can last every era.
There's so many dope ones over the years.
There's so many dope ones. Oh, I would put Dez Bryant in my slot. I would put Marvin Harrison, Dez Bryant in my slot, and then my outside receiver. Let me think who I would put.
Nickel receiver.
My nickel. I probably had. I was about to say Devin Hester.
T.O. and Julio.
Devin Hester.
I was going to say Devin.
Okay, so my number one would automatically be Larry Fitzgerald. Okay, my number two would be George Pickens, and my number three would. Hold on, my number 3.
Floyd said he the number one GOAT.
My number 3 would probably have to be. That'd be a tough one. No, not Cheetah.
And I was trying to do it without naming no crazy outside of Calvin. Nobody like ridiculous. Like, cause I got to use Randy. But
I think my number 3.
Ooh, everybody forgot about Randy. Shit, I didn't even think about Randy.
Yeah, that's what I was going. That's what I was going to say, but I was trying to do it without using.
So I'm going. Okay, I'm going. Larry Fitzgerald, George Pickens, and my number 3. Shit. So you say Devin Hester. I'm gonna get some.
No, I was thinking Devin Hester, but I would use Dez Bryant in my slot just to add that big frame receiver. They can still block.
My number 3, but my number 3 probably has to be D Hop.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go.
That is fine.
Some of the greatest hands in the history of football, right there.
And route running too. You couldn't stop his route running.
Yeah, he was nice.
I go with Larry Fitzgerald, George Pickens, and D Hop. They'll be my three receivers.
Yeah, I just go Calvin, Randy, and no, Calvin, Randy, and Dez.
That's a good
That's
three.
what I
That's a
would do.
damn good three right there. Ooh-wee. That's a
All
good
right, who
pick.
you taking a tight end?
Who's your tight end?
end?
You can only pick one tight end. Just one tight end. Wow.
If I'm only going one tight end, it's only
This too easy. TD.
it's only one
not
reasonable
TD, but,
option for me with the
I'm
team
going
I'm
Shannon
taking.
Sharp.
I take Gronk.
Shannon
I'm taking
Sharp.
Gronk. I'm taking Gronk.
I'm going Shannon Sharp all the time.
Is Gronk in his prime? That man's
You say
6'8".
Gronk?
Appreciate you for the resub,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate you for the resub, Floyd. Welcome to the 12-month crew, man. Welcome to the 12-month crew.
I'm taking Gronk 6'8" with Calvin and Randy on the outside, and you got to deal with that.
You got size.
I'm just thinking, and I'm also thinking about run blocking too. So
you got size over there. So you got AP. Yeah, you got size too. You got a size.
I'm going with them. I'm gonna say Tony Gonzalez then.
Tony
Gonzalez is one of my favorites.
I'm talking about
Antonio
nobody
Gates,
could catch like Tony though, man. Could nobody catch like
Gates,
Tony?
A lot of people sleep on him.
Antonio Gates too. That was my other option. It was either him
Kellen
or
Winslow. Kellen Winslow was one of them too.
He was all right.
Yeah, Kellen Winslow was all right until he got smacked by Ray Lewis.
Facts.
I think you're talking about Kellen Winslow Jr. You're talking about Kellen Winslow
that
Jr.
was Junior. That was Junior.
Kellen Winslow. Kellen Winslow was in the league before Ray Lewis. Okay, so who would be your linebacker? Your middle linebacker?
Ray Lewis.
Oh, that's simple.
Ray.
It's either Ray Lewis, you got Mike Singletary, or you know what I'm saying? You go Mike Singletary.
Okay. Mine would be.
Yeah, I'm taking Ray Lewis off top.
Mine would be that San Francisco middle linebacker that y'all
Patrick Willis.
Patrick Willis was nice.
Yeah, he was fine.
Brian Urlacher couldn't do the things that a lot of the
and people forget about Luke Kuechly too. People forget about Luke Kuechly.
Kuechly's smart. He's a smart linebacker. He's not the big, powerful linebacker that you would have or that you would want. That you know what I'm saying that has that stature to hit anybody. But Kuechly was a smarter cover linebacker. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna hit you with a throwback. Yeah. I'm gonna hit you with a throwback. What about Bill Romanowski?
Oh, Romanowski. he went back for real.
I don't know. Can he keep up in the new era?
Probably not.
I don't know if he can keep up in the new era, but that motherfucker used to hit
anybody.
People, boy.
He hit anybody. We forgot about fullbacks. Who be fullback?
Ooh.
Mike Allstott for me.
I knew you were gonna go Mike
Allstott's nice.
I would have to put Mike Allstott at fullback.
I'll go with Lorenzo Neal. I'm going Neal.
That's a good question.
Yeah, Lorenzo Neal's good.
He was a running back by himself.
Yeah, he was.
Or Richardson from the Jets.
Yeah, I remember Richardson. I mean, Patrick Ricard crazy too for the Ravens. Yeah, I think he can go anywhere. 300 pounds playing fullback.
Ooh. Yeah, he is.
I put Fridge at the fullback position too.
Fridge.
I put the Fridge back.
That's crazy.
I put the Fridge
gonna be taller than your running back.
Jerome Bettis.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna probably go Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah, Lorenzo Neal, probably all-time best fullback in the NFL all time. Okay, so who would be your best corner? Who would be your best cornerback all time?
Revis. I'll go Revis. I'm gonna just name one elite and then the rest I can.
No, just name one. Just name one.
Revis. I'll take Revis.
Okay.
I'm taking Dion.
Take
Dion all day, every day.
I'm going Charles Woodson.
Every day.
Neil said he taking Bobby Boucher.
Who would be your? He said Bobby Boucher. Wow. Okay, so who you taking at safety? I'm going Brian Dawkins. That's where I'm going. I'm torn between Brian Dawkins and Sean Taylor. That's where I'm torn.
Yeah, I started off with Ed Reed, so I had Ed Reed, and then my others. If I had to take another one, it'd be Palomalu.
I'm taking Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott? Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Okay. So who would be the best defensive end that you're taking?
Reggie White. That's a good question.
I'm taking Lawrence Taylor.
Who that in the background back there? That sound like JP back there.
That's JP. Yeah, it's JP.
Yeah, I heard him back there talking about Reggie White. He right.
Lawrence Taylor was a edge rusher.
Yep.
He was considered an edge rusher. He came into league as a defensive end, and anytime they played the 3-4, anytime they played the 3-4, he go out to the linebacker. That's considered a D end.
That's what we're talking right now. Defensive ends.
Defensive ends.
If I'm taking D ends, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take. Let me just think. I probably would take either Julius Peppers or JJ Watt.
Julius Pepper. Ooh,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I forgot about Julius.
Or Javon Curse.
Patrick Willis was too.
Hey, don't sleep on Bruce Smith from the Bills.
Bruce Smith was crazy too, and Reggie White.
Nah, yeah, I'm taking Lawrence Taylor at my edge rusher. I'm taking Lawrence all time. All right. This is good arguments here. Good arguments. They did Bruce Smith, Reggie White. Okay. Bruce Smith. Okay.
Reggie White was that deal. That was my favorite. I ain't gonna lie, he's my favorite.
All time choices for. Yeah, okay. You taking Reggie White too, Will? Okay. Nice picks. All right. So but yeah, this was just to bring up the Pickens and Jerry Rice argument. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you compare their first four careers that they had, the first 4 years of their career, you know what I'm saying? You arguably got to know that, you know what I'm saying, that Jerry Rice had more opportunities, more looks, you know what I'm saying, and better looks.
Not by a lot though. Only 100 more opportunities. That's not a lot.
Yeah, but 100 more yards as well each time.
Yeah.
100 more looks. You give Pickens 100 more looks. He's going over 100 more yards.
How many broken tackles did Jerry have in those 4 years though? Because that boy was breaking every tackle and nobody could stop him.
You also got to understand with 100 more routes, you give crossing routes. You give Pickens 100 more looks. He's passing up those 100 yards that he had of a difference each year of Jerry Rice's career.
Potentially, if Pickens is running the same route tree that Jerry's running and has the ability to do so, he could potentially do it. I think so.
Especially if he had Joe Montana. If he had Joe Montana on his team. So
I mean,
that's more
given opportunities like that. Yeah. Potentially, I see where you're coming from with that pause, but at the same time, I still feel like
their career placements. Nobody's going to be set up to win. Nobody's going to be set up to win to beat Jerry Rice's career, the way the Jerry Rice was.
Nobody will beat his records.
Nobody's going to.
It's not allowed anymore.
Now I'm not going to say he's going to forever have that triple crown.
Nobody gonna play 20 years. Nobody gonna play 20 years anymore.
Right.
There's too much money and there's too much injuries going on in the world.
Not only that, you're not gonna be set up with the best quarterback each year of those times either. You know what I'm saying? So
facts. At least half a year.
I think maybe his not gonna say his catching. No. His maybe his catching record might be beat because Jay Jet's pace is up there to pass his catching record. Maybe his touchdown record. But nobody's gonna beat his yard record. Nobody's gonna beat his yard record.
I just don't think
you're not gonna beat that. You're not gonna beat that because one, talent is too spread out. Talent's too spread out. The Vikings run a lot.
You got to think too, though, the way that the NFL's set up now, the amount of money that they're paying players, they're not allowing players, just like they did to Saquon when they wouldn't let him get 2,000 yards because they didn't want him to get hurt so they could have him for the playoffs and they could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In theory, it was a great idea. It worked out. But when it comes to the records and going all out for everything, it's more of an investment that these teams have in the money they're putting into players. Now they won't allow them to do these things, to go for the records and to go for broke like they would back in the day where things like that didn't matter and it wasn't even thought of. You had dudes playing for a couple $100,000 a year back in the day, and that was a lot of money back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yeah. Now you look at that like chump change if you're in the NFL. You look at that and that's like you ain't even going to show up to practice for that kind of money nowadays. So you feel me? So it's just
I think maybe his touchdown, record might be beat. If I don't think it, I still don't think that's going to be beat. But his catching record is going to be beat.
It's going to take a running back. It would take a supremely amazing running back who scored like LaDainian Tomlinson was doing, hitting them 20s and 30s fucking a couple of times throughout their career and just having consistency for a long time to ever break his record.
His career yards is going to be the hardest to beat. No, because
his total yards ain't going nowhere.
Total yards is not going 20,000 yards. It's freakishly hard. That's too hard to beat.
I mean, nobody's playing 20 years. Yeah, nobody's going to play wide receiver.
Jay Jett is on pace to beat that touchdown record. Jay Jett's on pace. You know what I'm saying? And he's also on pace to beat that catching. He's also on pace to beat that catching record too. But nobody's going to beat that yard record. No, absolutely nobody. I don't care what kind of career, what kind of quarterback you have. You're not going to beat that yard record. You're not. Chris Carter was the closest and will always be the closest to beat that yard record.
As a receiver, I thought Emmett was the closest one to get to him.
No. We're talking about receiving yards, not running.
This receiver only, yeah. Even then, I don't think any player is going to beat him, much less receiver. Receiver, definitely not.
No.
But it would take a running back with that type of yardage to be the all-time yardage.
I mean, even still, running backs, you're probably not going to beat that either because running backs get beat up in the trenches a lot more, so their careers are a lot shorter.
Yep, and you got to think too. Now offenses are so used to rotating running backs in and out to stay fresh and healthy that a lot of these running backs now are not the only option at running back throughout a game. They're not going to get 40 carries a game anymore. You get 20 carries a game as a superstar. You know what I mean?
How you doing, Miss Amy E? Welcome in.
Oh, Ames in the building.
Yes, sir.
Salute, Amy.
Hey, we talking about sports. She gonna yell at us in a second. So.
Oh man.
That's what I'm saying. Look what Neil said. His total yards to save his single game most points.
Yeah, we'll do this. Record. We'll start doing this once a week on Sunday sports talk. You know what I'm saying?
Sidebar question. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of people argue over the years that Wilt never scored 100 in the game, and that shit's made up. What do y'all think?
Wilt?
No, he definitely did that shit.
What he
definitely did that.
Other than, I mean, you also got to understand nobody was around his height level other than Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? Who was like 6'10".
He might have probably scored more than that, and they probably just felt bad and
he scored almost 60 a game. He scored almost 60 a game.
He scored 50 a game in the second year in the league.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
And didn't even win the MVP.
He was the only 7 foot. He was the only 7 foot center that back then as well too.
That's what I'm saying.
He was the only 7 foot center. The next person his height was either Bill Russell or Oscar Robertson. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so now we talking about in hypotheticals.
You talking about basketball now, Moolah?
Hey, hypotheticals. You know what I'm saying? Put Wilt in this era of basketball. What you think he's doing
beat
against
up? He's getting beat up. He's getting beat up.
How you figure?
He's getting beat up
the same way that Pickens is. If you put Wilt in this era and let him work out in these facilities with these type of regimens,
I can see where you're going.
Come on, man.
Realistically,
he was doing some crazy stuff back in the day. From what
he'd probably be another fucking what's his face with the not with the Spurs, not with the Spurs, but fuck what's his name, man?
Talking about Yao Ming?
No,
don't say Rudy Gobert.
Not Rudy. Not because Rudy is more. Rudy's more finesse and more defensive minded. Nah, he's not a strength center either. He's more of a scorer. He'd be like an Eldon Brand, you know what I'm saying, but more taller. He's a score minded. He's more of a score minded.
Eldon Brand was cool.
He's more of a score minded center. You know what I'm saying? He's more scoring.
Tim Duncan. You talking about Tim Duncan
type? Yeah. More of a Tim
Duncan. I would say Tim Duncan or David Robinson. If you're not gonna get Robinson,
Robinson.
He was athletic.
Or you know what? Ewing. He'd be like a Ewing as well. You know what I'm saying?
Patrick Ewing was fine. He didn't get a lot of credit.
He was nice, but he was never as athletic as Wilt was, though.
Nah.
I feel like
Olajuwon was nice.
That's the best all-time center. That's the best all-time center to my
y'all older, y'all got the live in the past syndrome, gang.
You mean older? You're lucky he's the youngest in this room.
Probably the youngest in here.
Like them
Me and you the
niggas
same
was
age.
trash, gang. To stop it, they was trash. We can look at their clips, gang. They was trash.
Who was trash? Who?
Everybody y'all talking about?
I will.
You move like
Here you go.
Let him know.
They was trash, gang. Fuck out of here. If you look at their highlight clips, you're gonna be like, oh, regular.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Amy. You miss 100% of shots you don't take.
Go ahead.
You 100% right.
Man said he was regular.
I swear to God, compared to I'm judging it off of if you look at the talent now.
Yeah, the game is evolved. Though.
That's how
the game's evolved.
Yeah,
that's the same. That's the same argument Tripp was making about the NFL, though.
Yeah.
If you look at the talent now versus the talent 50 years ago, of course it's going to be different. You're going
to not different. Trash.
You wild, bro.
No, I'm not wild. Like
they didn't. Man. Yeah, they didn't have the practice facilities, the practice techniques, the technology. None of that. They didn't have none of that they had back then.
They tried.
Nah,
your shorts barely went past your thighs, bro.
just like yeah, people be talking about Jordan. If you really look at how Jordan.
Now I hate that discussion because Jordan that's another story.
No, hold on. Jordan played in two of the best eras of basketball.
Jordan. Let me tell you. Can I say this one point? And I'm not a Jordan hater, but Jordan, when he played and won the championships, they had a rule change where there was no zone defense. All you could do was play 1-on-1. You couldn't zone. You couldn't double team, and you couldn't zone. Imagine playing in this league now and somebody having played, not even Jordan, somebody playing 1-on-1 against James Harden. Playing 1-on-1 all game against James Harden, you are done.
That's tough.
Kyrie, you got to play. You can't help.
I'm about to say Kyrie. Come on, who guarding Kyrie?
Kyrie. Who guarding Steph? Who guarding
And I'm not
Kyrie?
saying he's not nice. Jordan was nice, but I'm just saying, look at the advantage you get.
Yeah, okay, but look, in the 90s and the early 2000s, that was the toughest era to play as a backcourt.
Why?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
you had Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, you had Allen Iverson, you had so many elite backcourts that could cross anybody lined up against them. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant.
Half of them wasn't even getting paid that much, and they was working part-time jobs as plumbers.
Fact.
And they was getting drunk. They was getting drunk after the game and elbowing people because they were so drunk and they was
tired. They was tired. Getting drunk and high, and
they was doing lies. They was doing lies before the game.
Oh no! Hell yeah! Halftime.
That's why they was. That's why they was so angry.
Smoking packs of cigarettes. They was doing the most back in the day, boy.
Fact.
Oh my god.
That's why they were so physical back then.
They was trash.
Hell yeah, they was out there beating each other up.
They was trash too. They was trash. Fuck out of here. Michael Jordan was the right hand bandit, gang. It's the truth.
But Tripp, just imagine that if LeBron for since he been in the league, if LeBron only and Kobe too, if LeBron and Kobe and Melo one of my favorites, if Melo had the choice where he could never be doubled and you had to play 1-on-1 defense on him all game, and it was illegal to double him, that man would have already had the chip by now.
And the same goes for D Rose. D Rose would have never gotten injured.
Just
D
imagine
Rose would have shattered every record
like
there was.
You couldn't run a 2-3-3-2 zone.
He would have shattered every record there was had he not gotten injured. D Rose would have probably shattered every single record. Now I'm gonna end the Pickens and Jerry Rice argument right here. I'm gonna just give you. Hold on. Just listen to this. This is
okay. Here you go with the mic drop.
Hold on.
What you Google?
Terrell Owens won 0 Super Bowls. He made it to 1 Super Bowl in his career.
This is the argument between Jerry Rice and Pickens.
Format where you have to argue George Pickens is a better WR than Jerry Rice. You have to avoid just saying better career because Rice owns that category. Your strongest lane is pure talent, physical tools, era adjustment, difficulty of circumstances, and matchup dominance. Here are as many debate points as possible. Argument: George Pickens is a better wide receiver than Jerry Rice. Number 1, Pickens has rare physical traits Jerry Rice never had. Argument, open quote. Jerry Rice was a technician. Pickens is a physical anomaly, close quote. Pickens is 6'3", around 200 plus pounds with elite explosiveness. He has elite body control, jumping ability, and contested catch ability. His athletic profile is closer to modern freak athletes like Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, and
oh my God. I'm sorry, but they saying, man, that pulls shit,
quote.
Bro.
Rice mastered the position, but Pickens has physical abilities Rice simply didn't possess. Close quote. Number 2, Pickens creates separation differently. Rice was famous for route precision, timing, footwork, conditioning. Pickens wins with explosive releases, size mismatch, vertical speed, catch radius, strength against press coverage. Argument, open quote. Rice won chess matches. Pickens wins battles, close quote. Number 3, Pickens has played in a harder passing environment. Jerry Rice played 1980s, 90s NFL, less complex defensive schemes, no disguised coverages like today, no illegal contact rule enforcement until later. Pickens faces hybrid defenses, zone shells, disguised coverages, defensive backs trained year-round with advanced techniques. Argument, open quote. The modern NFL is built to stop passing offenses. Getting open today requires beating more complicated defenses. Close quote. Number 4, Pickens doesn't have Jerry Rice's supporting cast. Rice played with San Francisco 49ers, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Roger Craig, Terrell Owens, later elite offensive coaching. Pickens has dealt with inconsistent quarterback play, unstable offensive systems, defenses stacking coverage toward him. Argument, open quote. Put Pickens in the West Coast offense with Montana or Young, and his numbers explode. Close quote. Number 5, Pickens wins with less opportunity. Rice had huge target volume, offensive systems designed around him, Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Pickens has had seasons where defenses know he's the main threat, teams still struggle to stop him. Argument, open quote. A receiver's job isn't only stats, it's what happens when everybody knows where the ball is going. Close quote. Number 6, Pickens has more natural athletic ability. Athletic argument, Pickens, faster burst, stronger frame, higher vertical ability, more explosive movement, elite sideline awareness. Argument, open quote. If you put both players into a combined style competition, Pickens wins almost every athletic category. Number 7, Pickens is a better contested catch receiver. Pickens' highlights show one-handed catches, back shoulder grabs, winning through contact, insane sideline catches. Argument, open quote. When the play breaks down, Pickens can make a quarterback look better. Close quote. Number 8, Pickens is more physically intimidating. Rice was feared because he was always open. He never got tired. He executed perfectly. Pickens is feared because corners cannot physically match him. Safeties have trouble boxing him out. He can dominate defenders. Argument, open quote. Some receivers beat you mentally. Pickens beats you physically. Close quote.
Hey,
Number
yo.
9, Rice benefited from rule advantages of his era. Argument, the 49ers offense allowed timing routes, used defensive attention elsewhere, created favorable matchups. Pickens plays in an era where defensive backs are bigger, athletes are faster, defensive coordinators have analytics. Number 10, Pickens has Randy Moss-like traits. Argument, open quote. If we're talking about the actual receiver skill set, Pickens has traits closer to Randy Moss than Jerry Rice. Close quote. Traits, deep threat, contested catches, size advantage, explosive plays, fear factor. Number 11, Pickens changes defensive game plans. A true WR1 forces adjustments. Argument, open quote. Defenses don't change their entire coverage scheme for average receivers. Close quote. Pickens demands safety help, bracket coverage, corners playing softer. Number 12, Pickens' catch radius is elite. Argument, open quote. Quarterbacks don't have to throw perfect balls to Pickens. Close quote. He can adjust late, attack high point throws, make inaccurate passes become completions. 13, Rice benefited from elite offensive structure. Argument, open quote. Jerry Rice was the perfect player in the perfect system. Close quote. The West Coast offense created mismatches, used timing, emphasized yak. Pickens has not had that level of offensive infrastructure. Number 14, modern athletes are bigger and faster. Argument, open. A 1980s athlete compared directly to a modern athlete isn't a fair physical comparison. Close quote. Today's NFL, better nutrition, better training, advanced sports science. Pickens represents the evolution of the position. Number 15. Pickens has a higher wow factor. Debate crowd argument. Rice, consistency, intelligence, technique. Pickens, impossible catches, highlight plays, physical dominance. Argument, open quote, the best receiver is the guy who can make plays nobody else on the field can make, close quote. Number 16. Pickens could dominate any era. Argument, open quote, put Pickens in the 1980s and defensive backs wouldn't have the size or athletic ability to deal with him, close quote. Number 17. Rice never faced someone built like Pickens. Argument, open quote, Rice played against great corners, but not many corners were built to match a 6'3" explosive receiver. Number 18. Pickens is more versatile physically. Can win, deep, intermediate, red zone, contested situations. Argument, open quote, Pickens doesn't need perfect timing. He can create, close quote. Number 19. Talent versus accomplishment argument. The strongest debate distinction. Jerry Rice, greatest career. George Pickens, greater natural receiver talent. Argument, open quote, we're not debating who had the better career. We're debating who is the better receiver, close quote. Number 20. The if you were building a receiver today argument. Ask, open quote, if you could create a receiver in a lab for today's NFL, would you build Jerry Rice or George Pickens? Close quote. Size, Pickens. Explosion, Pickens. Catch radius, Pickens. Physicality, Pickens. Speed, Pickens. The biggest weakness of this argument, Rice's resume is almost impossible to beat. 1,000 plus receptions, 20,000 plus receiving yards, 200 plus touchdowns, 3 Super Bowl rings, Super Bowl MVP, all-time NFL records. So the debate cannot be who accomplished more. Your winning angle is, open quote, Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver ever because of production. George Pickens has the physical skill set to be the more talented wide receiver. Close quote. That is the lane where Pickens actually has ammunition.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Trip.
Go ahead.
I need you to send me your address because I need to send you a packages of poses, gang.
You getting a mailbox full of poses.
Yeah, that was crazy, gang. That was the craziest thing I ever heard. Wow.
Oh, man.
You get a whole mailbox full of pauses. That's crazy.
Pause letters.
You getting a notice of pause.
That was crazy.
That's all I was saying. You know what I'm saying? But overall.
Each pause comes with a smoke detector beep.
Yeah, crazy.
Hey, my smoke detector detects that was a pause.
Y'all crazy as hell, man. But yeah, man, that's the end of this segment, man. I was just wanting to bring y'all together, man, for some sports talk. This was good. This was a good one. This was a good segment. We definitely gonna be doing this once a week.
I do got a question though,
Yeah,
gang.
go ahead.
I do got a question, right? Did any of y'all play sports?
Yeah.
Yep.
What sport?
I played basketball in high school.
I played football.
I played football and basketball in high school.
I played straight football. I didn't play basketball.
I played football.
I stopped playing basketball.
I played basketball outside. But
I stopped playing basketball in middle school.
Oh, you're not qualified for this conversation.
Depends on
Middle
the
school
conversation.
is crazy. Middle school is crazy.
Depends on the conversation.
If you was a high school bowling, yeah, cool. But middle school is crazy. That's like 6, 7.
Just because you didn't
grade.
play doesn't mean you're qualified. You're not qualified for the conversation. You can have you don't have to have basketball skill to have basketball knowledge.
That's true, but it's nothing like being in the game.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? Again, you don't have to have basketball skill to have the knowledge.
You know what rule I hate they took out in football? The hollow.
facts.
I got injured off of that.
Yeah, niggas would do you dirty. Oh, the hell, I ain't even gonna lie.
You talking about the clip? You talking about the chop block or the crackback block?
It's when a
crackback block.
player, you got a defender that's going to hit you low by the ankles, make you pop up in the air, and then you got somebody that's coming across the top to just knock you clean out.
That high low.
It's the high low.
My God.
And they see you spinning. You start spinning like a helicopter.
Oh man.
That's what ended my football career. I'm like, yeah, fuck this, bro.
Them high low, that shit will wake you the fuck up.
They did.
Paying attention.
Yeah, they did.
I know people back in the day had a few concussions they don't even know about. That was playing high school, college football. I know they got a few concussions they ain't talking about.
Yeah, facts.
Especially considering they was playing with some helmets that were like,
bro.
After
that happened, gang, I switched to basketball. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, yeah, I wasn't ready for that. If you ever got high low, you know what I'm talking about.
And the petty thing about football is most times when you fresh and you new to a team, they ain't even gonna tell you what's about to happen. You just about to go out there and figure it out.
Facts. Will Wallace, he say pause.
Yeah, you know what? You got that.
Will Wallace said pause.
That said, y'all ain't hit me like that no more. He said,
no, facts, bro. Like that shit changed my life, bro. That made me look at football totally different. I'm like, okay, so
yeah, the crackback block was one of my favorites to do, man. I like.
If I'm in high school getting hit like this, I could imagine.
I used to knock linebackers off they mother. I used to knock linebackers back to 100 pounds.
The next level with.
I'm talking
next
about
level where they taller, faster.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Steve Smith era where we could hit linebackers that were 300 plus pounds. I'm talking about make them look like they were 100. Boom.
Them crackbacks used to be crazy because it happened when you're not even paying attention. You like hawking the running back down and somebody just come and clean you up.
Oh my gosh, I love doing that to outside linebackers, man. I loved it.
Yo, Trey, what position you played?
I played the outside left.
Left what?
I played wide out.
He said, I said left what?
Yeah, because it's different. What is?
No, you know that was the field. You say he left the field, never went back.
And I played the X receiver.
Okay, I play safety, wide receiver, and middle linebacker sometimes.
That was out there on defense too.
When I played a little bit of edge rushing. My high school years, but that was only when we needed it.
Hey, I'm gonna pause this before I even say it. Like, no Diddy.
This is a premeditated.
No Diddy. Because if you play football, you know what I mean. But pause again. You feel me? Ain't nothing like hitting a nigga. Pause. Oh my God.
Hey yo,
bro, stop, chill.
Have a chill.
Premeditated pause is crazy.
Oh my God!
Especially when you get that tackle and he just sitting there laying on the floor like, yeah, nigga, yeah. Pause.
Oh my God.
Hey yo,
is the comments cooking me? I hope
the comments are cooking you, bro. The comments are cooking.
Oh man, that's messed
comments
up.
are cooking you right now.
I'm just trying to talk about football and I gotta be gay. That's crazy.
Pause master gets paused.
That's wild work right there.
All right, we're gonna end this segment because I got to get the playoffs ready for the National Song League. But man, we're gonna get this segment cracking every Sunday around 6:00 p.m. So y'all come back and talk some sports with me. 6:00 every Sunday, man. With J Money, Lucky E, Matt Mula, I'm Triple C. Stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. We out of here, y'all.
Yes, sir.